Chapter 1232. Haggle over price. But even knowing this, Tianlong didn't want his daughter to die. He was willing to give up his life for her to live one more day of happiness. Girl, what are you yelling for? The man wasn't expecting Xiao Xiao to say something like that all of a sudden. He was pissed as he glared at Xiao Xiao. Shut your mouth. Dad, I love you. If there's a next life, I'll be your daughter again. Help me tell Linny honey that I love him too. If there's a next life, I'll be his concubine again. Tell Tang Yun Sisin. Don't cover my mouth. Whoa. Xiao Xiao was struggling. I'll let you speak, I'll let you speak. The man grabbed a towel and stuffed it into Xiao Xiao's mouth, blocking her mouth. Finally, he couldn't hear Xiao Xiao's voice anymore. He picked up the phone with a dark face, furious. Fuck, was there anyone in this world who wasn't afraid of death? He was a death warrior, of course, but was Xiao Xiao a death warrior too? The man's lungs were about to explode. It was a good situation for him, but Xiao Xiao's fearless declaration made him nervous. Feng Tianlong, are you sure that your daughter is in my hands now? The man's voice was a little suppressed. Girl, you've watched too many movies about heroism. You're not going to let your daughter die, are you? Let me think about it. Tianlong sighed. I can't make the decision on this. Your second head in charge has been transferred to Yanjing. I need to ask for instructions from the higher-ups. I don't care if you can make the decision or not. I just want results. The man said, I'll give you 2 hours, enough for you to negotiate. If there's no news in 2 hours, I'll activate the bomb and blow you up with your daughter. Of course I'll die too. Wait, 2 hours isn't enough. Time's too tight and it's after work. I can't guarantee that there'll be results in 2 hours. Tianlong stopped the man from hanging up. Alright, then I'll give you some more time. 3 hours should be enough, right? The man nodded. He didn't really care about the time. As long as Feng Tianlong was sincere in negotiating, he didn't mind giving him more time. He was prepared to die anyway, so he wasn't afraid of what Feng Tianlong would do. 5 hours? Feng Tianlong looked at his watch and said, I'll give you an answer in 5 hours. You know that I don't want my daughter to die. I have to fight for more time to work. Deal? The man relaxed after hearing Feng Tianlong's words. The length of time wasn't the main point. The main point was that since Feng Tianlong wanted to extend the time, it meant that he didn't want to give up his daughter's life. He wanted to save her. And so the more it was like this, the happier the man was. He was afraid that Tianlong wouldn't care about Xiao Xiao. After that, the man didn't waste any more time and hung up the phone. Tianlong let out a long breath. He didn't feel good in his heart, especially when he heard his daughter's last few words. Tianlong had the urge to cry. How sensible was his daughter? She didn't want to put him in a difficult position and was prepared to die. But how could he bear to see his daughter die? Captain Feng, we found their location. They're in the lead Huashuyan district, building A19. We don't know the exact floor, but the investigators have arrived at the scene and are checking the signal. I'm sure we'll have results soon. Li Yifeng reported the current situation to Feng Tianlong. I understand. Little Li, keep an eye on it. Let me know immediately if there's any news. Feng Tianlong nodded. It was obvious that they didn't care about his investigation, so if he was right, it would be easy for him to lock onto the location of the signal. He should have an answer soon. But what could he do even if he knew their location? The enemy wasn't afraid of death at all. Once they died, the bomb would be activated. This was a hedgehog that couldn't be touched. Not only couldn't they assassinate him, but they also had to ensure his safety. Otherwise, not only would his daughter lose her life, but the entire building would also be instantly destroyed. Tianlong knew about Chenhua Shuyan district. It was one of the most luxurious districts in Songshan. The people who lived there were either rich or powerful. If there was a big explosion here, it would have a huge impact on society. So Tianlong couldn't make a decision at this moment. Helpless, Tianlong could only report to his superiors. This was too big. He didn't agree to let them go, and the consequences of not letting them go were severe. He could only let the bureau chief decide. Bureau Chief Xia, I'm Feng Tianlong. Tianlong reported the sudden incident to Bureau Chief Xia with a gloomy mood. On the other side, Bureau Chief Xia didn't reply immediately. He asked Tianlong to evacuate the other residents in the building and wait for a meeting before making a decision. Little Feng, don't worry too much. Don't worry, from my personal perspective, I don't want anything to happen to Xiao Xiao. After all, she's your and Susu's only child. Susu is also an old agent here. I can't let her die with grievances, right? Bureau Chief Xia comforted Tianlong, but I'm not the only one in charge here. There are some things that must be discussed in a meeting. I understand, Bureau Chief Xia. No matter what the final result is, I will obey, Tianlong said. Okay, don't think too much. Alright, time is running out. I'm going to call for a meeting, Bureau Chief Xia said. Tianlong hung up the phone and laid on the chair. His eyes were solemn. At this moment he seemed to have aged a lot. Captain Feng, don't worry too much. Why don't you give Lin Bro a call? Maybe he has a solution? Li Yifeng suggested. Li Yifeng knew Lin Yi's capabilities. Not only was he skilled in medicine, but he was also skilled in martial arts. Last time the second head of the Red Conches was captured by Lin Yi. Maybe Lin Yi had a solution. Okay, we have to talk to him about this. After all, he's Xiao Xiao's boyfriend. Tianlong nodded and picked up the phone. If it was yesterday, Tianlong might not have told Lin Yi about this. After all, his promise with Lin Yi was to pretend to be Xiao Xiao's boyfriend. Chapter 1233. Chapter 1231. Lingshan's Little Thoughts. Uncle Feng, what's up? Lin Yi had just gotten back to the villa when he received Tianlong's call. Lily, Xiao Xiao's been kidnapped by Red Conch's death warriors. Tianlong didn't waste time and told Lin Yi what happened. The death warriors from Red Conch's want to threaten me to release their second head, the baldy you caught at the underground racetrack. Xiao Xiao's been kidnapped. Lin Yi was shocked. As for who did it, Lin Yi didn't really care. He was only worried about Xiao Xiao's safety. Do you know where she is? I'll be right there. Xiao Xiao's current location is at Qianhua waterfront, but the situation is a bit complicated. How about this, I'll tell you the details when you get there. Tianlong said. I'm heading to Qianhua waterfront now, so let's meet at the entrance. Do you know my car? And okay, I'll be right there. Lin Yi was panicking. Tianlong mentioned that the kidnapper was a death warrior. Lin Yi naturally understood what a death warrior meant. These types of people were the hardest to deal with. They didn't care about the consequences because they weren't afraid of death at all. Lin Yi quickly put on his clothes and left his room. The Miss and Shu were in the living room, using a tablet to search for the latest news about the celebrity, Su Shirhan. They wanted to see if she had any plans to hold a concert soon. Since they'd discussed it with Xiao Xiao, naturally they had to put it into action. Seeing Lin Yi come out of his room and put on his clothes, Mengyao raised her head curiously. Lin Yi, you're going out? Xiao Xiao's been kidnapped, I need to go out for a bit. Lin Yi nodded, his face serious. Don't wait for me tonight. Help me call Tang Yun and tell her that you guys don't need to worry about me. I'll be fine. Ah. Mengyao and Yushu were shocked by what Lin Yi said, but they didn't ask much when they saw Lin Yi looking like he was in a hurry. After all, time was of the essence, and they didn't want to waste any more of Lin Yi's time. Alright, be careful. Lin Yi replied and left the villa, driving Xiao Xiao's Land Rover to Qianhua waterfront. Lin Yi wasn't unfamiliar with Qianhua waterfront district. When he went to look for the shareholder of Pengzhan Industries, Xie Guanghua, his house was in Qianhua waterfront district. Therefore Lin Yi was very familiar with the route. He sprinted all the way and soon arrived at the entrance of the neighborhood by the Lidhua River. At this moment, the entrance of Qianhua Shuiyan district was brightly lit. Various police cars were parked everywhere, and a few fire engines from the armed police department had also arrived. After Lin Yi's car entered the cordoned area, he was stopped by two police officers. What are you doing here? You're Lingshan's subordinate? Lin Yi asked, noticing the familiarity of the officer. Yes, you are? The officer paused and looked at Lin Yi carefully. He did look familiar, but he wasn't sure who he was. Feng Tianlong asked me to come here. You can go and ask for his permission. Lin Yi said. You're looking for Captain Feng? Please get off the car and follow me. The officer saw that not only did Lin Yi know Song Lingshan, but he also knew Feng Tianlong. Naturally, he didn't need to ask for permission and brought Lin Yi to Lingshan. Of course, he didn't have enough authority to meet Feng Tianlong. He needed Lingshan to bring Lin Yi there, so he wasn't afraid that Lin Yi was a criminal. After all, if Lin Yi really was a bad guy, he would only be able to see Lingshan. He wouldn't even be able to see Feng Tianlong's face. Lin Yi? Lingshan paused when she saw Lin Yi. Bring me to Feng Tianlong. Xiao Xiao is my girlfriend. Lin Yi looked at Lingshan and said faintly. Ah. Lingshan paused. She didn't think that Feng Tianlong's daughter, Xiao Xiao, would be Lin Yi's girlfriend. Wasn't Lin Yi's girlfriend Tang Yun? How did it become Xiao Xiao? Lingshan was in a dilemma. If you're looking for a girlfriend, why didn't you look for me? Why did you look for someone else? Am I that bad that I don't even have the right to be your girlfriend? What? Lin Yi frowned. No. Nothing. Lingshan jumped when she saw that Lin Yi was angry. She didn't dare say anything else and quickly brought Lin Yi to Feng Tianlong. But as they walked, she pretended to ask carelessly, Isn't your girlfriend Tang Yun? How did it become Xiao Xiao? She's my small wife. Lin Yi knew that Ling Shan would ask about this, but he didn't hide it. It wasn't a secret, and Ling Shan didn't know about it before because she didn't care. Now she just needed to do some research and she'd figure it out. Small wife. You got yourself another small wife? Tang Yun agreed. Ling Shan couldn't believe it. Agreed? Why do you have so much to say? What do you want to ask? Lin Yi glared at her. Nothing. Ling Shan actually wanted to ask, why couldn't you consider last first when you're looking for a small wife? But it wasn't a good time to ask that. After all, Xiao Xiao was kidnapped and it was dangerous. Lin Yi didn't have the mood to talk about love. If she did, she'd probably get scolded by Lin Yi. Feng Tianlong was surrounded by a group of people, but his eyes were always looking around. When he saw Lin Yi and Ling Shan walk over, he quickly left the crowd and walked over. The people around Feng Tianlong were all from the investigation department in Songshan. They had already received news that the Red Conk's death warriors were at Qianhua Shuyan District, Building A16, the 18th floor. According to the property registration, the entire floor of Building A16 was registered under a foreigner's name and usually no one lived there. Evidently, this was a house that Red Conk had bought a long time ago just in case. An organized crime group like Red Conk had a lot of trump cards in their hands. It wasn't a surprise that they could buy a house here. Even if they couldn't use it in the end, they could still sell it for a huge sum of money. After all, Qianhua Shuyan's house price had more than doubled compared to when it first opened. Since the investigation was done, Tianlong told the police and the property management to notify the owners of Building A16, telling them to leave their rooms temporarily. This building had a bomb installed and it could explode at any time. Chapter 1234. Let me go. Uncle Feng, how's the situation? Have you confirmed Xiao Xiao's location yet? Lin Yi didn't bother with small talk after seeing Feng Tianlong and went straight to the point. It's confirmed. The person who kidnapped Xiao Xiao is a death warrior from Red Conscious. He's with Xiao Xiao on the 18th floor of Building A16, but we don't know which unit, Feng Tianlong said. Feng Tianlong said, but this death warrior has already planted explosives in the higher levels, and the remote control for the explosives is placed in his body. It relies on the heartbeat to control the explosion. Once his heart stops beating, the remote control will detonate it. So, there's no other way but to agree to his conditions. He can't die. What if we capture him alive? Lin Yi frowned. That won't work. There's poison in his mouth. If he commits suicide, the bomb will explode. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Death warriors aren't afraid of death. In their eyes, there's no fear of death. So we can't assassinate them or capture them alive. We haven't come up with a plan yet. We can only wait for the higher-ups to decide if we can release the second head in charge of Red Conscious. I see. Lin Yi nodded. Uncle Feng, let me go take a look. You. Go take a look? Feng Tianlong paused. Little Yi, you're going to die if you go now. You can't do anything to him, but if you don't handle it well and anger him, he might take poison to kill himself. Then you and Xiao Xiao will be finished. He won't do that easily. Lin Yi shrugged and smiled. He'll only choose suicide when there's no hope. As long as there's hope to save the second head in charge, he'll do it. Oh. Feng Tianlong paused. Uncle Feng, there are two types of death warriors. One is forced and the other is voluntary. Those who were forced obviously wouldn't be sent to carry out this kind of mission. After all, this mission is very important. If there's any mistake and they fail because of the death warrior's betrayal, the Red Conches will lose more than they gain. Lin Yi analyzed. So, this death warrior is most likely volunteering. Since they were willing to risk their lives for the Red Conch, they had to have undergone strict training and were extremely loyal to the Red Conch. Since that was the case, he would prioritize saving the second in command of the Red Conches. This was an honor for someone who was loyal to the Red Conches. So, unless it's absolutely necessary, he won't choose to commit suicide before the mission is over, and we still have a chance. Oh? Now that you mention it, it seems to be the case. Feng Tianlong nodded after listening to Lin Yi's analysis. For a fanatic like this man, he would definitely view the life of the second leader as extremely important. This was because only by saving the second leader would he be able to achieve his ultimate goal in life. Whether he died or not was secondary. Because whether he died or not, it wasn't as important as the second leader. This was the reason why he was willing to use his life to exchange for the second leader's life. And Lin Yi only dared to try this because he knew what he was thinking. Haha, I've dealt with people like this before. Although they don't care about life and death, it's a completely different mentality to die after a successful mission and a failed mission. Lin Yi shrugged. So, I'll go up and see if there's a chance. Even so, your analysis is the truth. But it's still too dangerous for you to go up. Feng Tianlong hesitated. Even if you can talk to him peacefully, it won't help other than stalling for time. That's the 18th floor. Even if you want to escape with Xiao Xiao, you'll need some time to get down from the 18th floor, even if it's a jump. That'll be enough time for him to detonate the bomb and blow you and Xiao Xiao into pieces. Trust me, Uncle Feng, I won't do something stupid like that, Lin Yi smiled confidently. Alright, it's decided. I'm going up. Wait. I can't make this decision, I have to report it to the higher-ups. Feng Tianlong naturally didn't want to see Lin Yi go to his death. If Chief Xia agreed to release the second leader of the Red Conches, then Xiao Xiao might be able to escape, but it was only a possibility. Who knew if the Red Conk's men of sacrifice were trustworthy? Would they wait for the second-in-command of the Red Conch to escape before suddenly changing their minds and detonating the bomb to perish together? It wasn't impossible, it was very possible. Because the opponent was a death warrior, they couldn't be judged with common sense. It's fine. If Chief Xia asks, just say that I went up on my own accord, Lin Yi said faintly. Feng Tianlong wanted to stop him, but he saw the worry in Lin Yi's eyes and didn't stop him. Lin Yi was loyal to his daughter, and this made Feng Tianlong happy and touched. Plus, with Feng Tianlong's understanding of Lin Yi was a brave, smart, and courageous person. He didn't do things on impulse. So, if Lin Yi asked to go up, it meant that Lin Yi had a certain level of confidence. At the very least, he wouldn't do something impulsive and irrational. So, since Lin Yi said so, Feng Tianlong wouldn't stop him. Lin Yi had a very delicate relationship with his organization. Even if Chief Xia knew that Lin Yi went up on his own accord, he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Ling Shan, on the other hand, frowned as she looked at Lin Yi's departing back, not feeling too good about it. Lin Yi was going to do something so dangerous? Didn't he know they were death warriors? Didn't he know there were explosives in the building? Was Xiao Xiao that important to him that he didn't care about his own life? Would Lin Yi have been able to save him if he'd been the one upstairs? Last time, Lin Yi also went into the tiger's den and saved her from the kidney trafficking company's dungeon. This meant that Lin Yi had a place in his heart. Ling Shan was happy again at the thought. Lin Yi naturally didn't know that Ling Shan had these messy thoughts. If he did, Lin Yi wouldn't know whether to laugh or cry. Right now, Lin Yi didn't have much confidence in winning. He could only take it one step at a time. Lin Yi knew that the department wasn't united, and Chief Xia wasn't the only one. There were some things that he couldn't decide even if he wanted to. Chapter 1235. An unfavorable start. Looking at Lin Yi's back, Tianlong felt a surge of warmth in his heart. Xiao Xiao's life, meeting Lin Yi at the moment of her death, was really her fortune. With someone like Lin Yi who cared for her and loved her, Xiao Xiao could die with no regrets. This time, Tianlong didn't even know if he'd be able to come back down. Of course, Feng Tianlong could understand Lin Yi's deep feelings for Xiao Xiao. If it wasn't for his wife, Xiao Susu, having a daughter like Xiao Xiao, he would have thought about going to hell with Xiao Susu. But although Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao didn't have a child, the problem was that Lin Yi didn't only have one girlfriend. Lin Yi still had Tang Yun. How could he die with Xiao Xiao? Wouldn't he be letting Tang Yun down? Could it be? Lin Yi really had the confidence to win? Feng Tianlong's eyes narrowed. He understood Lin Yi's ability. Without a doubt, he was one of the best in the department. With that thought, Feng Tianlong's heart was filled with hope. He hoped that Lin Yi could bring him a miracle. He dialed Chief Xia's number. Feng Tianlong had to report the news of Lin Yi going up. It didn't matter if he could stop it or not, he had to let the higher-ups know. Tianlong? Chief Xia's voice was heavy. It's me. Chief Xia, what's wrong? Feng Tianlong's heart tightened when he heard that Chief Xia's tone wasn't right. Tianlong, I'm really sorry. No one agreed to release the second head in charge of the Red Conches. The impact of this is too big. We've already notified Interpol about the news of capturing the second head in charge of the Red Conches. If we release him now, we won't be able to explain ourselves. Chief Xia said helplessly, although I said that I'd rather resign and release the second head in charge of the Red Conches, I'm not the only one in charge here. The other people in charge don't agree. I understand your difficulties. It's nothing. Feng Tianlong had already guessed this result. Although he had a good personal relationship with Chief Xia, it didn't mean that he had a good relationship with the others. The other people in charge of the investigation department were all impartial. They wouldn't sacrifice the collective for their own benefits. However, if it was before Lin Yi went up, Feng Tianlong would be in a bad mood because this meant that Xiao Xiao was sentenced to death. But now Tianlong placed his hopes on Lin Yi. As for whether or not he could release the second head of the red conch, Tianlong didn't care. Tianlong, don't think too much. I will send a bomb disposal team to the scene to assist you as soon as possible. When Director Xia said this, he didn't have much confidence. If the man of sacrifice had placed the explosives in his room, then even the best bomb disposal experts would be useless. They couldn't possibly enter his room to defuse the explosives, right? That person directly detonated the explosives. It's fine, Chief Xia, I have something to report to you, Feng Tianlong said. Oh? Did something happen on your side? Director Xia asked in a daze. Linny is here and Linny is alone. He is determined to face the red conch man of sacrifice. Feng Tianlong said. Linny? What? Director Xia paused when he heard this name. You know Linny? Only a few people in the investigation department knew Lin Yi's real name. Lin Yi wasn't a permanent member of the investigation department. He existed as an external helper. His code name was Eagle, and the other people in the department only knew him as Eagle. They didn't know his real name. So, when Feng Tianlong said the name Lin Yi, Director Xia was stunned. Yes, Eagle from back then. Feng Tianlong said with certainty. He knew what Director Xia was confused about, but there was no need to hide it. When he met Lin Yi before, he didn't report it to Director Xia because he didn't want to hide anything. You are still in contact with him? You found him this time? Director Xia was shocked. He didn't expect Feng Tianlong to have a personal relationship with Eagle. He is my daughter's boyfriend. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Otherwise, why would he go at such a dangerous time? Director Xia was even more shocked. He is Xiao Xiao's boyfriend? No wonder. No wonder. This world is too small. Yes, that's why Lin Yi insisted on going. I couldn't stop him since he isn't my subordinate and I can't beat him. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Old Feng, I'm not blaming you. Why are you explaining so much? But with Lin Yi's help, there's a good chance we'll be able to turn the situation around. Chief Xia said. I hope so. Feng Tianlong wasn't in the mood to joke with Director Xia and said sincerely. After ending the call with Director Xia, Feng Tianlong said to Li Yifeng, Little Li, tell everyone to leave the building and stay a safe distance away. Be on standby. Yes. Li Yifeng nodded and turned to give the order. Since Lin Yi went up, Feng Tianlong had to trust Lin Yi. The people near the building would only burden Lin Yi. Since Feng Tianlong chose to trust Lin Yi, he had to reduce his burden as much as possible so that he could do things without any worries. Sometimes the more people, the better. Lin Yi didn't choose to climb over the wall. Instead, he took the elevator and went up to the 18th floor. The elevator stopped at the 18th floor and Lin Yi got out. He observed the two houses outside the elevator. He could see a faint light through the peephole of one of the houses, and the other was pitch black. Lin Yi chose the house with the light and took out some small tools from his pocket. He easily opened the anti-theft door without making a sound. The so-called anti-theft door could only prevent ordinary thieves. If it was a professional like Lin Yi, it would be useless. If it was really that anti-theft, the locksmith companies wouldn't have any business. Although Lin Yi was very careful, the person in the house was also very alert. The moment Lin Yi opened the door, the person spoke. Chapter 1236. Since you're here, don't leave. Lin Yi thought to himself that this guy wasn't a good person after all. He'd been very careful, but while he tried his best not to make any noise, there was still some noise when the door was opened. He tried his best to make it as quiet as possible, but it was inevitable that there would be some noise. It's me, Xiao Xiao's boyfriend. Lin Yi looked at the man calmly. Since he'd been found out, Lin Yi didn't bother putting on an act anymore and spoke frankly. He didn't want to piss this guy off and make him commit suicide. Woo. Xiao Xiao saw Lin Yi come in and was very agitated. She waved her arms and legs trying to say something, but her arms and legs were tied up. Even if she waved her arms and legs, she could only wiggle on the sofa. Plus, her mouth was gagged so she could only make noises. The man listened to Lin Yi's self-introduction, confused. This guy wasn't a cop, nor was he from the Supernatural Investigation Department, but Xiao Xiao's boyfriend? And looking at Xiao Xiao's excited and nervous face, this person was most likely acquainted with Xiao Xiao. Just stand there, don't come over, and don't try to do anything to me. I'm telling you, don't even think about using the tranquilizer gun. An unconscious person's heartbeat is different from a normal person's. If my heartbeat slows down to a certain degree, it'll set off the bomb. The man warned as he looked at Lin Yi. He wasn't trying to scare Lin Yi, but it was the truth. This was to prevent someone from using the tranquilizer gun on him. The heartbeat of an unconscious or anesthetized person would slow down, and the bomb's remote would be activated as well. Don't worry, I won't do anything. Lin Yi's face was nervous and worried. I'm just worried about my girlfriend's safety. I don't want anything to happen to her. If anything happens to her, then I won't live either. So when I came up, I was prepared to die with her. Don't worry, I don't have a gun. I'm not a cop. Although I think what you said is probably true, I'm sorry, but I still can't believe you. The man said faintly, there's no news from Feng Tianlong's side and I'm quite bored. Since you're here, let's play a game? Kaka. As he spoke, the man pulled the towel out of Xiao Xiao's mouth. Xiao Xiao's mouth had been gagged for a long time, and it was very uncomfortable. She took the towel out and started panting heavily. Linny honey, what are you doing here? He wants to blow me up. Didn't you get blown up as well? Hurry up and leave. This has nothing to do with you. Don't meddle blindly. Xiao Xiao looked at Lin Yi, touched and angry at the same time. She was touched that Lin Yi treated her so well and didn't abandon her even in such a dangerous situation. But at the same time, Lin Yi didn't only have one girlfriend, he still had Tang Yun. If Lin Yi died with her, what would happen to Tang Yun? And Meng Yao and Yushu Xiao Xiao could tell. She wasn't sure if Meng Yao had feelings for Lin Yi, but Yushu definitely did. Lin Yi, on the other hand, shouldered the love of so many girls. If he died, these girls would hate her to death. He can't leave anymore. He's here, so he can't leave anymore. The man laughed coldly. What does he think this place is? You think you can come and go as you please? Even if I leave now, I don't believe you'd detonate the bomb. Lin Yi said faintly. Right now, Uncle Feng is negotiating with the higher-ups about releasing your second head in charge. If you detonate the bomb, then your second head in charge won't be released anymore. Lin Yi just wanted to make sure that this death warrior in front of him was the same as he thought. Saving his second head in charge was his first goal. As for whether he died or not, that was secondary. So Lin Yi used leaving as an excuse. In reality, even if he kicked Lin Yi out, Lin Yi wouldn't leave. If Lin Yi left, wouldn't he come here for nothing? But the man didn't know why Lin Yi came here. He didn't think much after hearing Lin Yi's words. He only laughed. Of course. You're right, my goal this time is to save my second head in charge. As for dying, I'm not afraid of dying, but I have to make sure I can't save him and teach Feng Tianlong and the Bureau a lesson. Then what if I leave? Lin Yi asked. If you leave, I'll take off your wife's clothes and fuck her. In the next few hours, whether Feng Tianlong releases him or not, I'll play with your wife non-stop. I'll fuck her to death. The man licked his lips like a pervert and said fiercely. As expected, after hearing the man's words, Lin Yi's face changed. He stood at the door with a dark face. He didn't know whether to leave or stay. Lin Yi honey, leave. If he really dares to do that, I'll die with him. Don't worry, Xiao Xiao is yours for the rest of her life. She won't give it to anyone else. You still have Tang Yun sis. Don't listen to him. Xiao Xiao saw the change in Lin Yi's face and thought that Lin Yi wanted to stay. In reality, Xiao Xiao didn't know that Lin Yi's face was purposely put on for the man to see. Lin Yi had to have a good reason to stay, right? If he stayed for no reason, the man would be suspicious. And the man's words gave Lin Yi an excuse to stay. No matter what, he could only act according to the situation if he stayed. Xiao Xiao, I won't leave you. Lin Yi gritted his teeth and said seriously. Lin Yi honey, don't be so stubborn. And Tang Yun sis, Meng Yao and Shu, what about them? You can't die with me. Xiao Xiao was panicking. She kept giving Lin Yi looks. Xiao Xiao knew a little about her father's organization. How could they let people go after capturing them? So Xiao Xiao didn't have much hope in this at all. She didn't want her father to make a mistake because of her. So this time Xiao Xiao was prepared to die. She didn't have long to live, so she might as well die. They were going to die sooner or later, and it was only a matter of time. Dying early would help lessen the burden on Lin Yi and the others. Let's go, coward. I'll kill her. Wah. The man seemed to enjoy scaring people. Chapter 1237. You kill yourself. So he was probably saying all this just to mess with Lin Yi. Of course, Lin Yi was more than happy to play with him. He'd only have a chance to make a move if he played with him, right? When you do that, aren't you afraid that your heart won't beat evenly and will detonate the bomb? Lin Yi looked at the man and asked. You don't know, do you? Only when the heart beats too slowly will it detonate. On the other hand, if the heart beats too fast, there's no problem. The man looked at Lin Yi and said proudly, completely shattering Lin Yi's fantasy. You. Lin Yi's face contorted in anger as he glared at the man, speechless. Scared now? Looks like you treat your girlfriend pretty well, huh? The man started laughing. You'll die a horrible death. Lin Yi said with a cold smile. You're too right, there's no way a death warrior can die a horrible death. The man didn't care at all. Kid, now you know how impulsive you were, right? How about it? Not only can't you save your girlfriend, but you can't even leave. Linny looked at the man angrily, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, had calmed down, but she was a little confused. Lin Yi's behavior today was a little unusual, wasn't it? In the past, no matter how dangerous Lin Yi was, he'd always be calm and collected. He wouldn't show such intense emotions. For example, in the car race earlier, Lin Yi was still calm even in such a dangerous situation, but today he got so worked up after being mocked a little. This was different from the Lin Yi she remembered. And so, Xiao Xiao started suspecting that Lin Yi was doing this on purpose. Did he have a reason for doing this? At that thought, Xiao Xiao was pretty sure that Lin Yi was doing this on purpose, trying to achieve some sort of goal. If that was the case, Xiao Xiao wouldn't expose Lin Yi, and she wouldn't react differently from before. She'd try her best to cooperate with Lin Yi. Lin Yi, honey, leave. I don't have long to live anyways, it doesn't matter if I die. Don't worry, if he dares touch me, I'll kill him. Xiao Xiao said. Shut up, girl. The man glared at Xiao Xiao, annoyed. This girl was so annoying, always nagging. Go, Lin Yi, honey, go. Don't worry about me. Xiao Xiao didn't listen to the man at all, continuing to scream. You fucking shut up. The man was going crazy, and he grabbed the towel and stuffed it into Xiao Xiao's mouth. Wah. Xiao Xiao let out a series of meaningless noises. It's finally quiet. The man dug his ear with his hand and looked at Lin Yi. All right, kid, we can start our game now. What game? Lin Yi asked. Suicide game. The man's lips curved into a mocking smile as he pulled out a long knife from a bag beside the sofa and kicked it in front of Lin Yi. Suicide game? Lin Yi frowned as he looked at the long saber by his feet and asked in confusion. Brat, don't play dumb with me. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. The man looked at Lin Yi mockingly and said with a smile, although your acting is not bad, I didn't believe you from the beginning. Dying on the same day, same month, same year? Pledging undying love? That's pretty touching, isn't it? You idiot, do you think I believe you? I'm just playing with you. Lin Yi's face darkened. He underestimated this man's intellect. It seemed like this guy didn't believe him at all. What? Did I see through you? Not talking anymore? The man humphed, pleased with himself. Let me tell you, you're still too young to play this shit in front of me. I believe you when you say you're this girl's boyfriend, but I don't believe you want to die with her. There are so many police down there, how could they let a normal person like you up here? Don't think I don't know who let you up here and how much responsibility you have to bear. What are you trying to say? Just say it, don't waste my time. Lin Yi said coldly. You don't want to listen anymore? But I want to finish. I'd be letting myself down if I don't show off my amazing reasoning skills. The man continued. So the only possibility is that you're a police or a member of the Supernatural Investigation Department, and at the same time, you're this girl's boyfriend. You didn't come up here to die with her. You wanted to take me down. If I guessed correctly, you wanted to step forward in an instant and dislocate my lower body, right? So that I couldn't bite the poison and commit suicide? Humph. Lin Yi humphed noncommittally. Let me tell you, luckily you didn't do that, otherwise you would be dead. The man said proudly, my poison is hidden in the upper part of the mouth. As long as you lick it with your tongue, it will break. It has nothing to do with the teeth. Lin Yi replied with a cold humph. How about it? You have nothing to say, right? Your little trick is nothing in front of me. The man looked at Lin Yi contemptuously. Idiot. You want to deal with me? Go practice for another 10 years. Are you done with your nonsense? What do you want to do? Lin Yi asked impatiently. I broke your hope. Is it painful? Do you regret coming up? But there is no medicine for regret in this world. It's useless for you to regret. The man looked at Lin Yi and smiled. How about it? You feel aggrieved, right? Are you done? Lin Yi interrupted him. If you have something to say, say it. Since you are so eager to die, then I will fulfill your wish. The man sneered and said with some displeasure, I wanted to let you live a little longer, but you don't cherish this opportunity. Then I can't do anything about it. What do you mean? Lin Yi asked. Do you see the long knife on the ground? Now we are playing a suicide game. The man pointed to the long knife in front of Lin Yi and said, now you pick it up and then insert it into your heart. Don't tell me you don't know where your heart is. Take off your clothes and stand in front of me and insert it. Insert it from head to toe. Insert it through your heart. You mean you want me to commit suicide? Lin Yi asked as he looked at the long knife on the ground. Nonsense, don't you understand? The man said with some displeasure, you are the one who wants to die. Who can you blame? Chapter 1238. There is nothing to be done, you will do it, the man said faintly. I'm not a suicide warrior, are you sure you're not mistaken? Although I can't do anything to you, you don't have the right to ask me to do anything, do you? Don't forget, before your second head in charge is released, you won't set off the bomb easily. Linny retorted. You're right about this. The man was calm and unruffled as if victory was in his grasp. But can I play with your wife? If you don't do as I say, I'll do it right now. You. Lin Yi's eyes were red as he looked at the man, his eyes almost shooting fire. Don't go too far. So what if I bully you? What can you do to me? The man looked at Lin Yi shamelessly. If you're going to die, hurry up and die. I told you I wanted to play a suicide game, but you didn't understand. Who can you blame? If I knew this was going to happen, I would have just said a few more words. I'll count to 3, take off your shirt, stand in front of me and stab the knife into your heart. Otherwise, don't blame me for doing something to your girlfriend. Wah. Xiao Xiao was really panicking now. No matter what Lin Yi's original intentions were, the situation had clearly deviated from its original path. The man clearly wanted to kill Lin Yi, and if Lin Yi really did as the man said, would he be able to live? Would he be able to live with a knife in his heart? How could Xiao Xiao let Lin Yi do something stupid? But she couldn't say a word and could only make some meaningless noises. Lin Yi took a deep breath and looked up at the man, his face serious. If I do as you say, will you let Xiao Xiao go? Won't touch her? Yes. I'm not a good person, but I have a good reputation. The man nodded. If Uncle Feng releases your second head in charge, will you let Xiao Xiao go and let her leave safely? Lin Yi asked. Of course. The man said, if your people really let second head keeper go once he is out of danger, he will contact me and I will release Xiao Xiao. Don't worry. Although we are a terrorist organization, we still have credibility. We mean what we say. All right. In that case, I can agree to your request. Lin Yi took a deep breath and looked at Xiao Xiao with a tragic look. A bitter smile appeared on his face. Xiao Xiao, take care. Woo, woo, Xiao Xiao was panicking. She tried her best to get the towel out of her mouth, but how could she spit it out? Lin Yi smiled and nodded to Xiao Xiao as he started unbuttoning his shirt. I'm taking off my clothes? Can't it be inserted from the outside? Take it off. I need to see where your heart is. The man was obviously worried about Lin Yi. He was afraid that Lin Yi would play some tricks. Lin Yi didn't say anything and continued to unbutton his shirt. When the last button was undone, Lin Yi took off his shirt, revealing his strong and muscular arms. Kid, I didn't know you had muscles? Looks like I was right. You are the police or someone from the investigation department. The man said proudly, how can a normal person have such strong muscles? Lin Yi humphed and didn't say anything else. He just threw his shirt on the ground. Not bad. Looks like you are quite obedient. Now pick up the sword in front of you and end your own life. The man nodded in satisfaction. Lin Yi didn't say anything else. He silently picked up the sword from the ground and held it in his hand as if he was checking its sharpness. Come closer and kill yourself in front of me. The man ordered Lin Yi. Lin Yi held the sword and walked closer obediently. Okay, now raise the sword and stab it into your own heart. The man ordered. Remember your promise. Lin Yi looked at the man and then at Xiao Xiao. Don't worry about that. Hurry up. Don't waste time. I might change my mind. The man's eyes were bloodthirsty. Don't wait until our second in command is out of danger. I choose to blow you up together. Lin Yi nodded and raised the sword. The tip of the sword was pointed at his own heart. Wait, let me see it clearly. The man signaled Lin Yi not to act rashly. He wanted to check if the position below Lin Yi's sword was his heart. I can still tell where the heart is, Lin Yi said faintly. It's not bad. It's here. The man nodded, satisfied. Whoa, Xiao Xiao was panicking. She didn't think that Lin Yi would really choose to kill himself. Why would Lin Yi do this? No, absolutely not. She wasn't worth Lin Yi doing so much for her. Xiao Xiao's tears came out of her eyes. She was a girl who didn't cry easily, but at this moment she couldn't hold back her tears. She was someone who was about to die. How could she be worth Lin Yi doing this? Plus, her motive for getting together with Lin Yi wasn't pure. She dated Lin Yi with the intention of getting back at Lin Yi. She was someone who deserved to be punished, but she dragged Lin Yi down with her. No, absolutely not. But other than the meaningless syllables that came out of Xiao Xiao's mouth, she couldn't say a complete sentence. This scene is very touching, isn't it? The man looked at Xiao Xiao's heartbroken face and his smile widened. Kid, let's begin. Lin Yi nodded and raised the sword, aiming it at his heart and stabbed it in. The sword didn't stop. After piercing through Lin Yi's chest, it came out of Lin Yi's back. Just like the man said, Lin Yi used the sword to pierce through his heart. Oh! Xiao Xiao screamed in her heart. Could it be that this was Lin Yi's plan as well? In her despair, Xiao Xiao had to comfort herself that perhaps this was Lin Yi's plan. He would choose to attack the moment the sword pierced through his body. But seeing the sword pierce through Lin Yi's body, Xiao Xiao lost all hope. Lin Yi really did it. He really chose to kill himself. Why did he do this? Why did he have to do this? Chapter 1239. Taking every possibility into consideration, Lin Yi's body slowly fell forward as the blade pierced into his body. Ha! What an infatuated kid, this feels so good. The man laughed maniacally as he watched Lin Yi plunge the knife into his own heart. However, his laughter came to an abrupt halt after a few laughs. Not only did his laughter stop, but he realized to his shock that he couldn't close his mouth, and his tongue couldn't move. His entire body couldn't move at all. It was as if someone had cast a spell on him. He sat on the sofa, not moving, not even his eyes. His entire nervous system seemed to have malfunctioned, and there wasn't a single part of his body that could move. In front of him, Lin Yi, who was about to fall to the ground, suddenly stood up. The blade was still in Lin Yi's chest, but he wasn't in a rush to pull it out. Instead, he smiled at the man in front of him, looking at him with the same look of disdain as before. He said faintly, "What? You can't move? You can't even kill yourself with poison, can you? Because you can't move your tongue, right? There isn't a single part of your body that can move, right? Isn't that weird?" The man couldn't speak, but from the look of shock in his eyes, Lin Yi had hit the nail on the head. But Lin Yi wasn't in a rush to answer the man's question. He walked over and took the towel out of Xiao Xiao's mouth. Xiao Xiao regained her ability to speak, and the first thing she said was, "Lin Yi, honey, your blade? Ha, Xiao Xiao, your husband won't die that easily. I was the one who lied to this guy. He was playing me and I was playing him too." Lin Yi looked at the man and said mockingly, "Idiot, I let you see that I was acting, didn't you know? If I don't have any skills, if I'm crazy, would I come up here to die?" The man's eyes spat out flames as if he wanted to burn Lin Yi to death. However, he couldn't move. He couldn't move at all. "You're very angry and nervous right now. Your heart is beating very fast, so the explosives can't go off," Lin Yi said, looking at the man calmly. "Phew." The man let out a breath. After hearing Lin Yi's words, he tried his best to calm his emotions and slow down his heartbeat so that he could kill Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi shook his hand, and a silver needle flew into the man's body. The man's heart beat quickly and powerfully. "Sorry, I'm a medical student." Lin Yi shrugged and said innocently, "This injection of mine is even more effective than a cardiac stimulant. In a short period of time, your heart's function will be abnormally good." The man was about to explode, but he finally understood what Xiao Xiao was feeling. He couldn't move, couldn't speak. "Thank you for telling me the location of the poison in your mouth, and the secret to activating the remote." Lin Yi smiled. "If you didn't tell me yourself, I wouldn't even know how to do it. Now that you've told me everything, it saved me a lot of trouble. Do you regret it? You want to play my wife? Let's see who's playing who now." "Humph, but there's no medicine for regret in this world. It's useless even if you regret it. Running into someone as strong as my husband is a dead end." Xiao Xiao chimed in, pleased with herself. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao, one after another, returned all the words the man had said to him. This made the man so angry he was about to explode. "Pho!" The man spat out another mouthful of air, his eyes filled with rage. Lin Yi ignored him and quickly dug out a small poison sac from the man's mouth. He threw it on the ground and said, "You wanted to bite me to death just now, didn't you? But unfortunately, I've sealed your acupuncture points. You can't move." The moment Lin Yi's body fell, a bunch of needles flew out from Lin Yi's hands, piercing right into the man's acupuncture points. The moment Lin Yi fell was the moment the man's nerves were at their most relaxed. At that moment, his mind was filled with the joy of Lin Yi's death, and he temporarily forgot his guard. To the man, a man with his heart pierced through was already a dead man, so it made sense that he wouldn't be on guard. But he never would have thought that there was a long knife in Lin Yi's body, and that the knife had pierced through Lin Yi's heart and his entire chest. But Lin Yi wasn't dead. Not only was he not dead, but he was even able to seal his acupuncture points with needles, and he was still talking and laughing as if nothing had happened. If it weren't for the knife still in Lin Yi's body, the man would have thought it was magic. "All right, you can speak now." Lin Yi removed one of the needles, restoring the man's ability to speak. "Impossible, this is impossible. Why aren't you dead?" The man looked at Lin Yi in disbelief, asking the question he wanted to know the most. "You're talking about this knife?" Lin Yi moved slightly and pulled out the knife from his body, and the wound on Lin Yi's chest not only didn't spurt out blood, but it was also healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. No. Impossible. You're not human. The man looked at the changes on Lin Yi's body, and his eyes widened in horror. Was he even human? The wound was healing so quickly, how was that possible? I'm a practitioner, and I'm at the peak of mid-phase mystic division. Lin Yi seemed to think that the man was a little surprised. Of course, I'm a little stronger than other practitioners. I can heal injuries in my body like stabbing my heart with a knife as long as it's not minced, then I can heal it, no problem at all. So, next time you should order me to mince my heart. But there won't be a next time. And even if you order me to mince my heart, I'll heal it while I'm mincing it. As long as my healing ability is better, it'll still be fine. You're a monster. The man was completely speechless this time. He'd calculated everything, but he'd neglected Lin Yi's inhuman body. Facing someone like this, it wasn't a waste to lose. But the man said, "You don't dare to kill me, but do you dare to kill me? If I die, you'll die too." "Oh, I was just about to solve this problem." Lin Yi said faintly, "You know too much. In order to keep it a secret, I have to kill you." Chapter 1240. Chapter 1238. Defusing danger. The man's chest was cut open by Lin Yi, but Lin Yi wouldn't kill him. Because the man's death would cause the remote control in his body to detonate the explosives here. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't be so reckless. Ouch! The man suddenly screamed in pain. The pain of his chest being cut open was unbearable. He was a man of sacrifice. He wasn't afraid of death, but that didn't mean he wasn't afraid of pain. "Do you feel good now? Didn't you want to play a suicide game?" Lin Yi didn't care about the man's screams. He quickly opened the man's chest. This level of surgery was a piece of cake for Lin Yi. "You're not human." The man screamed loudly. He was regretting it now. What kind of suicidal game was this? If he knew that he would suffer like this, he would have killed himself with poison and blown this pervert to death. But now, other than talking, he couldn't even move. How could he talk about suicide? "Do you want to die now?" Lin Yi asked calmly. "No problem. You'll die as you wish in a while. When I take out the remote control, you can die." The man knew that nothing he said would help. He would only be laughed at by Lin Yi. So he simply closed his eyes and didn't say a word. Lin Yi quickly found the remote control for the explosives in the man's chest. The remote control was very sophisticated. It seemed to be the most advanced technology at the moment. It used the pulse around the heart to activate the remote control. Come to think of it, the technology of a famous international criminal organization shouldn't be underestimated. Lin Yi had heard of the Red Conch before, but he didn't have any dealings with them. Most of Lin Yi's previous missions were the kind where he worked for money. It wasn't surprising that he didn't specifically encounter the Red Conch. But now, this remote control device made Lin Yi's expression a little solemn. If he wanted to make the remote control malfunction, he had to destroy its power supply or transmission device. However, this was not a difficult thing for Lin Yi. Lin Yi reached out and grabbed one end of the remote control device. The jade pendant on his chest began to fluctuate. It seemed that this position was dangerous. If Lin Yi squeezed it, it might detonate the bomb. Lin Yi changed his position, but the warning from the jade pendant was still there. Lin Yi was not in a hurry. He changed his position one by one until the jade pendant stopped warning him. Lin Yi did not hesitate to pinch it. The sound of metal breaking could be heard. Half of the remote was crushed by Lin Yi's palm. This was no problem for a mystic class master. Taking out the crushed part, Lin Yi carefully checked the inside of it. As expected, it was the wireless transmission device. This part of the circuit was crushed by Lin Yi. Even if the remote was activated, it would be like a toothless tiger, unable to hurt people. Even if the remote was activated, there would be no danger. Lin Yi casually pulled the rest of the remote control device from the man's heart. He did not care about his life or death. This kind of man of sacrifice had no value. It was impossible to get any useful information from him. So whether he would die or not, Lin Yi was not worried. After the remote control device was pulled off, Lin Yi did not hear any explosion. The danger was completely resolved. "Impossible, this is impossible." The man looked at Lin Yi in shock. He did not think that Lin Yi would be able to remove the remote so easily without detonating any explosives. Lin Yi couldn't be bothered to talk to him anymore. He threw the remote on the ground and crushed it with his foot. He then used his knife to cut off the ropes around Xiao Xiao's limbs and body. There wasn't a single trace of sloppiness, and the tip of the knife didn't even touch Xiao Xiao's clothes. "Whoa, Lin Yi honey, you scared me to death." Xiao Xiao rushed over and hugged Lin Yi as soon as she regained her freedom. "Haha, it's fine. I was just playing with this retard." Lin Yi patted Xiao Xiao's back and comforted her. I knew you weren't stupid enough to kill yourself. Xiao Xiao breathed in relief. But it was really dangerous. I don't have much longer to live. You didn't have to risk your life to save me. Even if you were dead, even if you were a corpse, I would save you. Plus, you're not dead yet? Don't say stupid things in the future. Your illness is fine. I'll think of a way to get a forensic doctor. Lin Yi said. Okay. Xiao Xiao nodded. After this incident, her confidence in Lin Yi grew. Perhaps Lin Yi really did have a way to cure her illness? Come on, let's go downstairs. Your dad's probably getting impatient, Lin Yi said as he carried Xiao Xiao off his body. Okay. What about this guy? Xiao Xiao pointed at the man on the sofa whose chest was cut open by Lin Yi. Oh, isn't he a man of sacrifice? He's going to die soon, Lin Yi said faintly. Lin Yi knew that this guy didn't have long to live when he removed the remote. The remote was near the heart, and once it was removed it would definitely damage the heart. This guy would probably die from blood loss soon, but Lin Yi didn't need to heal him. Even if Lin Yi didn't need to spend energy, he wouldn't heal an enemy. This guy's life and death had nothing to do with Lin Yi, and Lin Yi wouldn't have a shred of sympathy. Oh, that's for nothing. Don't be a man of sacrifice in your next life. It's scary. Xiao Xiao waved her hand at the man. The man rolled his eyes and closed them. He knew, and he had a premonition, that his life was coming to an end. At this moment he felt a sense of panic that he had never felt before. This was a feeling he had never felt since he was raised as a death warrior. For the first time he didn't want to die, but there was nothing he could do. There was no way Lin Yi could save him. This time he was going to die for sure. With regret and unwillingness, the man closed his eyes. Lin Yi brought Xiao Xiao downstairs, not even looking back at the man. This guy was just a passerby in Lin Yi's life. When he fell in front of Lin Yi didn't even bother to say a word. When Lin Yi held Xiao Xiao's hand and walked out of the door, the police and people from the investigation department were all shocked. Lin Yi really did save Xiao Xiao in a dangerous situation like this, and he did it so calmly without a hint of panic on his face. Step by step he walked out of the building. Chapter 1241. Chapter 1239, Lin Yi's suggestion. Then how did Lin Yi do it? He controlled the Death Warrior and didn't kill him? But how could Lin Yi guarantee that the Death Warrior wouldn't commit suicide? And now where was the Death Warrior? These questions formed a chain in everyone's mind, but this wasn't the time to ask. The only thing they could do was to report to their superiors. The police immediately called Ling Shan and told her about the situation, and the people from the investigation department immediately reported it to Tianlong. When Ling Shan and Feng Tianlong found out that Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao walked out of the building safely, they were both shocked. Lin Yi really did it? Feng Tianlong didn't even bother to say goodbye to Ling Shan as he quickly ran towards the A16 building. Captain Feng, you're not taking the car? Li Yifeng didn't expect Feng Tianlong to run and quickly caught up. I'm not driving, it's troublesome. Feng Tianlong said as he ran, I used to be a good member of the investigation department, an ace. My body was quite strong. That's true, Captain Feng, you're a good member now too. Li Yifeng ran with Feng Tianlong. Ling Shan, on the other hand, relaxed after receiving the news. She wasn't in a rush to see Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao anymore. After all, she couldn't show her concern for Lin Yi too obviously. She was relieved now that she knew. Captain Song, we're not going to take a look? Lu Wangli knew about the relationship between Ling Shan and Lin Yi, so he asked softly. No need to ask. You take a team and help the investigation department to remove the explosives, then send the refugees back to their homes. Ling Shan waved her hand. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao had just gone through a life and death situation. He probably didn't have time to take care of her, so Ling Shan didn't want to join in the fun. Seeing Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao appear in front of everyone safely, Feng Tianlong was extremely excited. He quickly ran over, his voice changing, Xiao Xiao. It's great that you're fine. Uncle Feng, I didn't fail you. I brought my wife back safely. Lin Yi looked at the excited Feng Tianlong and joked calmly. Lin Yi rarely called Xiao Xiao wifey, or something like that, but he did it a couple of times today. Xiao Xiao blushed a little, but her heart was filled with sweetness. It seemed like Lin Yi was accepting her more and more. Xiao Xiao felt very happy. Ah, you're right, Xiao Xiao is your girlfriend and it's your duty to protect her. I won't say any unnecessary words of gratitude. Feng Tianlong paused for a moment, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, he laughed out loud and didn't say the words of gratitude that were on the tip of his tongue. You don't have to say it. Lin Yi smiled and said, however, I hope that Uncle Feng can resolve the matter regarding the red conch as soon as possible. I don't want today's incident to happen a second time. That second boss should be killed. If he's dead, then it'll put an end to their thoughts. Feng Tianlong paused and nodded. This was the Lin Yi he knew, decisive and decisive. In this period of time, Feng Tianlong had seen Lin Yi's peaceful side and forgot that Lin Yi used to be a cold-blooded secret agent. Where's the Death Warrior? How is he? Feng Tianlong asked. Dead, I guess. Lin Yi didn't know if the Death Warrior was dead or not, but it was obvious that he wouldn't live for long. Dead. Feng Tianlong paused, then the remote control device in his body? I took it out and crushed it so we can remove the explosives without worry, Lin Yi said. Uncle Feng, you won't blame me for making the decision on my own, right? Why would I? Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. I'm grateful that you were able to solve this problem once and for all. Why would I blame you? If it were me, I wouldn't be able to do anything. If we could kill that Death Warrior, we would have done it already. Of course, Lin Yi honey is amazing, Xiao Xiao said proudly. In the past, when she was young, Xiao Xiao would sometimes worship her father, thinking that he was amazing, but now that worship had shifted to Lin Yi. Yeah, if Lin Yi stayed in the department, he'd definitely be more outstanding than me, Feng Tianlong didn't mind and sighed. Alright, Uncle Feng, I'll leave the things here to you. Xiao Xiao, you can stay at my house for now. Lin Yi had this idea before, but Xiao Xiao rejected it. But now, it seemed that this was the best solution. Staying with Lin Yi would guarantee Xiao Xiao's safety to the highest degree. Who knew if the Red Conches would come up with other tricks after this incident? Even if they killed the second head in charge, would they come back for revenge? All of this was hard to say, and so the only thing he could do in the face of unknown danger was to keep the danger to a minimum. Everything was in his hands, that was the only way he could ensure Xiao Xiao's safety. Of course, but Miss Chu. Tianlong was worried about Meng Yao. Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao were close, but that didn't mean Xiao Xiao was close to Meng Yao and the others. It was normal for Tianlong to be worried. Don't worry, Uncle Feng, Yao Yao, Shu and Xiao Xiao are getting along really well. We went to the beach together a few days ago, Lin Yi said with a smile. I see, then I'm not worried. Tianlong nodded. Xiao Xiao was a little taken aback by Lin Yi's suggestion, but remembering that Lin Yi was doing it for her safety, she could only nod. She was close to Meng Yao and Yushu, yes, but she wasn't as close as she was with Tang Yun. Even among friends, Xiao Xiao didn't have much contact with them, so it was natural that she felt awkward staying with them. Lin Yi drove back to House Chu's villa with Xiao Xiao. On the way, Lin Yi called Tang Yun to let her know that he was safe. Yun Yun, it's me, Lin Yi. Tang Yun picked up very quickly. How could she be in the mood to sleep after hearing Meng Yao say that Xiao Xiao was kidnapped? It was really late, but she still waited by the phone for Lin Yi's news. She didn't dare call Lin Yi, afraid that she'd interrupt Lin Yi's rescue. Chapter 1242. Chapter 1240. Tang and Feng's phone. Tang Yun asked a bunch of questions at once, showing how worried she was. Xiao Xiao and I are fine, don't worry. We're on the way home and I'm planning to let Xiao Xiao stay with Yao Yao for a while. One, it's for her safety, and the other is for her illness. If she suddenly gets sick, I'll be able to take care of her. Lin Yi said. Oh, let Xiao Xiao stay with you? That's a good idea. Tang Yun wasn't jealous, but rather happy. You're right, if Xiao Xiao gets sick again, you'll be able to help her quickly. Ah, I knew you'd think too much. Lin Yi breathed out in relief. Tang Yun's understanding was out of Lin Yi's expectations. Was this still the stubborn girl who argued with Meng Yao at Fatty Lai's place? What's there to think? Don't think of me as a petty person. Tang Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You're driving, right? Give the phone to Xiao Xiao, I'll talk to her. Okay. Lin Yi said as he passed the phone to Xiao Xiao. Lin Yi was someone who had undergone strict training, even masters of the same level couldn't compare to him. Lin Yi could multitask very well, like driving and talking on the phone. It was a dangerous move for other people, but it was nothing to Lin Yi. Xiao Xiao had been eavesdropping on their conversation the whole time, and the car was very quiet. She could hear everything Tang Yun was saying, and she couldn't help but feel grateful towards Tang Yun. Sometimes Xiao Xiao would think that the heavens really cared for her, letting her find a boyfriend who loved and cared for her so much before she died, and even let her and his girlfriend become best friends. Tang Yun's concern came from the bottom of her heart, and it wasn't fake at all. Xiao Xiao could tell that apart. Thank you for caring about me, Yun Yun sis. I'm sorry for making you worry, but I'm fine. Xiao Xiao said gratefully. There's no need to thank me, between us sisters. Tang Yun smiled and said, as long as you're safe, I'm relieved. Yeah. I knew you're the best, Yun Yun sis. The other wives would probably want the second wife to die too. Xiao Xiao giggled. You're spouting nonsense again. What def? With Lin Yi around, you won't die. Tang Yun suddenly lowered her voice. Right, Xiao Xiao, I have a mission for you when you go to Yao Yao and Shu's place. Oh? What? Xiao Xiao didn't get to finish before Tang Yun cut her off. Don't make a sound, don't let Lin Yi hear. Tang Yun quickly reminded. Oh. Xiao Xiao replied, curious at the same time. Just what kind of mission was Tang Yun giving her? And carry Lin Yi? Could it be that she wanted to assassinate Meng Yao and Yushu? It couldn't be, right? Xiao Xiao was shocked by her own bold idea. She knew that Meng Yao and Yushu were interested in Lin Yi, and Tang Yun could tell as well. Could it be that Tang Yun sis was jealous and wanted to get rid of them? But that shouldn't be the case. Tang Yun sis wasn't that kind of person. Xiao Xiao, when you get to Yao Yao's place, help me keep an eye on Lin Yi, Yao Yao and Shu. See if they're related or not. Tang Yun said, a little embarrassed. I'm not suspecting anything, I'm just curious. Shu told me that Lin Yi and Yao Yao are related, and I don't really believe it. I just want to confirm it. If you don't like it, then forget it. Tang Yun didn't feel too good after saying that. Why did it feel like she had a spy by Lin Yi's side? Falling in love with Lin Yi meant trusting him. How could she just suspect him? But Tang Yun was really curious. Lin Yi had been living in the Chu villa for so long, was there really nothing going on between him, Meng Yao, and Yushu? Of course Tang Yun just wanted to confirm it. If there was, then there was. If there wasn't, then there wasn't. Even if she found something, she wouldn't say anything to Lin Yi or Meng Yao or Yushu. Tang Yun had said that it was a fair competition, and since they were good friends, if Meng Yao and Yushu really did have something going on with Lin Yi, it would only mean that they were stronger than her. Tang Yun would also cheer for her and not lose to them. As for getting even with them, Tang Yun didn't even think about it. She just wanted to know more about her enemy. Yeah, sure, no problem. Xiao Xiao agreed after hearing Tang Yun's words. It wasn't a hard thing for her, and it wouldn't go against her principles. That was why Xiao Xiao agreed so readily. But even if Tang Yun had lowered her voice, Lin Yi's hearing wasn't bad. He had heard everything clearly from the side. Lin Yi found the conversation between the two girls a little funny, but he didn't think there was anything wrong with it. It was reasonable for Tang Yun to think like that, but she didn't dare to confront him face to face. She could only find it out herself. This made Lin Yi feel that Tang Yun had really changed. She was a little different from the stubborn Tang Yun he knew before. The Tang Yun who was grinding her teeth in front of him was gone. What replaced it was a gentle image. After that, Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao talked about something else before hanging up. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, passed the phone back to Lin Yi as if nothing had happened. She didn't mention anything about Tang Yun's orders. Lin Yi took the phone and put it away, not saying anything. The car stopped in front of House Chu's villa, and the sound of the car attracted Meng Yao and Yushu's attention. Meng Yao breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Lin Yi's car outside. Lin Yi leaving with a serious face really scared the Miss and Shu. They didn't have time to ask and they were worried until now. They only calmed down when they saw Lin Yi's car. Two people worrying about a boy at the same time. This was something that would never happen in the past. Who would Meng Yao and Yushu worry about before they met Lin Yi? The two were carefree, sleeping when it was time. But now they were sitting in the living room at the same time, waiting quietly. Chapter 1243. Releasing the news early, find out more about Su Shirhan, see if she's planning to hold a concert soon. Meng Yao, naturally, wouldn't admit that she was worried about Lin Yi. Yao Yao, didn't we look for her already? You've been sitting in the living room all this time? Yushu didn't hold back at all, exposing Meng Yao's lies all the time. I just rested for a bit. Meng Yao glared at Yushu and yawned. Aha, let me introduce a guest to you guys, she'll be staying here tonight. Lin Yi said as he opened the door and pulled Xiao Xiao out. Xiao Xiao didn't dare get out before, not knowing if Meng Yao would welcome her or not. Guest? The miss paused, but a smile appeared on her face when she saw Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, why didn't you get out? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yushu clapped her hands happily. With a playmate like Xiao Xiao in the villa, they wouldn't be lonely in the future. Whether it was Meng Yao or Yushu, they didn't see Xiao Xiao as their enemy. Because of Xiao Xiao's condition, Meng Yao and Yushu had accepted her a long time ago. No matter how well Lin Yi treated her, she wouldn't become their love rival. Tang Yun had accepted her, so why would Meng Yao and Yushu do anything to her? Plus, after some time together, Meng Yao realized that Xiao Xiao was an easy person to get along with. They had fun together and so she accepted her from the bottom of her heart. Yushu, on the other hand, was the same. The troublemaking duo wasn't just for show. The two of them could sweep through the world and mess with anyone they saw. Xiao Xiao's father made an enemy, an international criminal gang. I was worried that they wouldn't give up and would come looking for trouble again, so I brought Xiao Xiao to the villa. Lin Yi explained. Plus you guys know about Xiao Xiao's illness too. This way I'll be able to take care of it when it acts up. That's good. The villa is big anyway. Just clean up a room and it'll be more lively in the future. Meng Yao smiled and nodded at Xiao Xiao. Yushu ran over happily and pulled Xiao Xiao into the villa. Linny knew that Meng Yao and Shu were kind people, so there shouldn't be any problems with Xiao Xiao moving into the villa. He parked the car in the garage and returned to the villa, only to see Xiao Xiao, Meng Yao, and Yushu sitting in front of the sofa, looking up something on their tablet. Evidently it was news about Su Shihan. Go to bed early. We still have school tomorrow, Linny said as he glanced at the three of them. Linny, you sleep with Xiao Xiao? Or will Xiao Xiao sleep with us? Meng Yao glanced at Linny. Linny felt a little awkward, living with Xiao Xiao under the eyes of the miss, and Shu was a little awkward no matter how he looked at it. Yao Yao says, Shu, can I sleep with you guys? You won't mind, right? Xiao Xiao naturally was too embarrassed to sleep with Linny. It was fine if it was just the two of them, but they were in someone else's house. How could she do that? Of course not, the bed upstairs is really big, 2 meters. Tang Yun can sleep there too. Meng Yao smiled. She didn't know why, but she felt relieved. Was it because Linny didn't sleep with Xiao Xiao? Meng Yao didn't know. It's getting late, you guys should shower and go to bed. Linny nodded and went back to his room without saying anything else. After showering, Xiao Xiao put on Yushu's pajamas and went to Meng Yao's room. She thought it would be awkward, but the room was very warm. Meng Yao and Yushu weren't overly enthusiastic either, and Meng Yao only waved her hand casually. Xiao Xiao, come quick. Su Shihan's official fan club just posted an announcement on their official website. According to reliable sources, Su Shihan has plans to go on a concert tour soon. Really? Who knows if it's real or not? You can't really believe a post on a fan club, right? Xiao Xiao didn't feel awkward anymore after hearing Meng Yao's words. She ran to the bed and squeezed with Yushu, looking at the tablet in Meng Yao's hand. Who knows? But it shouldn't be a scam, right? Look at this ID, it's really high-leveled, an honorary moderator. Meng Yao pointed at the poster on the tablet. It's true. Xiao Xiao nodded, a little surprised. Does this mean that the news might be true? It's possible, we'll get the confirmation tomorrow. Meng Yao said. After reading the post, the three laid on the bed and watched a part of Shihan's MV before turning off the lights and going to sleep. Everything was so natural, as if the three of them had been living together all along, and Xiao Xiao didn't have to worry too much about it. Su Shihan looked at Wang Sis, who was busy in front of the computer, and walked over curiously. Su Shihan was no different from a normal girl, curious, active, and lively, just like a normal person. Wang Sis, what are you busy with? Su Shihan looked at the screen in front of Wang Sis, surprised. Wang Sis, why are you on my fan club website? I'm going to make a post, release some news first, just in case I make a decision, Wang Sis said. Post? What post? Su Shihan looked at the screen curiously. Wang Sis, isn't that your honorary moderator ID? Why are you saying I'm going to have a concert? You don't have any plans for it recently? Now that you have plans, doesn't that mean you do? Wang Sis smiled. These few days you might actually have a concert tour. What? Su Shihan was confused. Wang Sis, it's not like you don't know that my headache will flare up from time to time. If it happens during the concert, it'll be hard to explain. Su Shihan had this weird headache, and this was the reason why she didn't participate in public performances often. Even if she had concerts, it was only when she was forced to do so by the company. She didn't cooperate with any other entertainment companies or departments. This was also because she didn't want her headache to spread to the public. Chapter 1244. Chapter 1242. Prophecy. Shu prophesied again. It's because of your weird headache that I'm planning to hold this concert. Wang Sis said, now we can basically confirm that Zhao Yaowang's medical skills are real. I've already asked my friends, a lot of famous people in Songshan City have gone to him for treatment, his medical skills are superb. Really? He has a way to cure my illness? Su Shihan was pleasantly surprised after hearing the news. And the possibility is very high. Wang Sis nodded. I've already talked to Zhao Yaowang's manager today. I also told him about your situation, and he agreed immediately, saying that he has the confidence to cure you. He's not a scammer, right? Su Shihan was a bit worried. You still don't trust Wang Sis's foresight? Wang Sis smiled. Whether he has the ability or not, Wang Sis can tell with one look. Currently, this Zhao Yaowang's reputation is not bad. It's just that he's a bit too shady. The fees are sky high. Sky high then, the money I earn isn't useful anyways. I'm alone, there's nothing to worry about. Su Shihan didn't really care about money. I think so too, so after careful consideration, I've decided to bring you to see a doctor. Wang Sis said, but you need to find a suitable reason to go to Songshan City for treatment, or else you won't be able to stay in Songshan City for long. If you don't want those entertainment reporters to dig something out, I think the only reason is to hold a concert there. After all, we don't have any business activities to do in Songshan City. If I knew earlier, I would have agreed to that Miracle Dr. Guan Medical Company's product launch. So that's it. I was wondering why they suddenly held a concert. Su Shirhan finally understood what Wang Sis's actions meant. The next morning, Su Shirhan's entertainment company announced that Su Shirhan was going to hold a national concert tour. The specific number of concerts, venue and time were still to be decided, but the first stop was confirmed, Songshan City. Although Songshan was a second-tier city, it wasn't unheard of to hold a concert in a second-tier city. So Su Shirhan's fans were only shocked for a second before they started to envy the fans who lived around Songshan. Little Miss Chu, Little Miss Chin and Little Miss Feng were eating the pork and century egg congee made by Lin Yi while watching the morning entertainment news. All of them widened their eyes at the same time. Holy *T Prophet Shu is so powerful. Last night I was still saying how great it would be if the concert could be held here. Today it's confirmed. Yushu felt that she was really something. Last night when they were chatting under the blanket they talked about this and so Yushu made another prophecy. Mengyao too looked at Yushu suspiciously. The girl's jinx mouth was quite accurate after all. She'd gotten it wrong so many times. Xiao Xiao's face was a little weird as well. She'd heard of Prophet Shu's story a long time ago, and now that she saw it, it was indeed quite amazing. Things were so mysterious and looking at Yushu, it was like a blind cat finding a dead mouse. But who knew if it was true or not? Shu, then can you prophesy for me? Will I die? Xiao Xiao asked suddenly. Oh. Yushu paused. No way, you definitely won't die. We'll be the troublemaker duo from now on, and we'll sweep the world. What would I do if you died? I hope you're right. Xiao Xiao nodded. She was just asking casually. Even she didn't really believe that she'd be able to live. It had been generations in the family, and no one could escape this curse. Alright, what's with the talk of dying so early in the morning? Are you done eating? I'm going to school, Lin Yi said. Falbert's here already. These 2 days, Falbert had moved out after recovering. He was an old man living with a bunch of young people after all and he wasn't used to it. Plus, the company was busy, and Pengzhan often had social engagements at night. He couldn't go back to the villa in the middle of the night. And so, things went back to normal. Falbert would deliver food every night, and he'd drive to the villa to pick up Mengyao and Yushu in the morning. Alright, I'll have another mouthful of porridge. Yushu picked up the bowl and drank it all in one gulp. Lin Yi, where are we going today? Mengyao asked as she looked at Xiao Xiao. In the past, Lin Yi drove to pick up Xiao Xiao and Tang Yun while Mengyao and Yushu sat in Falbert's car. But now that Xiao Xiao was living in the villa, it was pointless for Lin Yi to drive himself. He might as well let Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao get in the car together, but he'd just pick up Tang Yun. Mengyao and Yushu weren't familiar with Tang Yun before, so Tang Yun wasn't used to sitting in their car a couple of times. But now, with Xiao Xiao as a link, their relationship was much better. They went out together and they even slept together at night. Naturally, their relationship wasn't the same as before. Now that Tang Yun was in the car with them, there wasn't any awkwardness. Then we'll all sit in Falbert's car. We'll just pick up Tang Yun later, Lin Yi nodded, seeing through the misintentions. Xiao Xiao looked at Falbert's Bentley, a little envious. This car is so high-end, I want to drive it myself. Xiao Xiao was a car lover, unlike the Miss and Shu who didn't have any feelings for cars. Then why don't you be the driver? Lin Yi smiled. Lin Yi was a lot more easygoing now. He didn't have to worry about anything anymore. Ever since he resigned, Lin Yi's relationship with the Miss, Shu and Falbert had gotten a lot better. Lin Yi was still a bodyguard and follower in name, but it could be seen that both Mengyao and Yushu treated him as a friend. Falbert, on the other hand, treated Lin Yi as his savior. Naturally, Falbert wouldn't reject Lin Yi's suggestion. Miss Feng should drive? No, this car's too big. I'm afraid I can't control it well. Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue and sat in the back. Let's wait for the weekend. Let Falbert drive the car over and we'll go practice in an open space. Lin Yi smiled. With Lin Yi's current status, he could afford to pay for a Bentley even if it was smashed. Even if it was, Pengzhan wouldn't make Lin Yi pay for it. Chapter 1245. Chapter 1243, New Master of Songshan. Let's go pick up Tang Yun first, but she moved to 528 Changdong Avenue, Changxiang Garden, Lin Yi said to Falbert. Okay, Mr. Lin. Falbert nodded, There was no need to tell Faubert where to go. To Faubert, who was extremely familiar with Songshan City, Lin Yi was a living navigator. Lin Yi gave Tang Yun a call. Yun, I'll take Faubert's car to pick you up today. You just need to get ready to go. Faubert's car? Then I'll wait for you at the bus stop in front of the district. Faubert's car is pretty big and it's not easy to drive in the district. Nowadays, a lot of people dump their trash on the roads, Tang Yun said after some thought. That's fine, let's meet at the bus stop then. Lin Yi nodded and didn't force the issue. He had felt it when he sent Tang Yun home yesterday. Many residents had left their trash on the road, and they hadn't had time to move it away. It was quite difficult for cars to pass through. Small cars could still handle it, but big cars would get scratched. Tang Yun hung up the phone and grabbed her bag to go downstairs. Mrs. Tang caught up to her. Yun, was that N? Tang Yun replied. I made roasted chicken drumstick. Can you bring him a box to try? He's not here at our house, so we'll make up for it. Mrs. Tang took the lunchbox and passed it to Tang Yun. Okay. Tang Yun thought about it and took it. Recently, she had been eating in the school cafeteria, but since it was a single room, it was fine to bring her own food. Tang Yun took the lunchbox to the bus stop and waited for Lin Yi's arrival. Waiting for her boyfriend to pick her up to go to school was something Tang Yun didn't even dare to think about in the past. Dating in the third year of high school? How was that possible? But now, Tang Yun accepted it naturally and gladly. The relationship between a man and a woman that she thought was shameless in the past was now sweet. Tang Yun realized that her attitude had changed. The road and bus stop in front of the district were newly built, clean and beautiful. Tang Yun never thought that she would move from the slums to a high-class district like this. I wonder how my neighbors in the shanty town are doing now. However, under Lin Yi's intervention, the residents of the slums finally received a high compensation from Zhao Qibing. It was the last good deed Tang Yun did for them. In the future they would have to rely on themselves. He could help them for a while, but he couldn't help them forever. Moreover, he still had to trouble Lin Yi. Beauty, are you waiting for the bus? Do you want me to give you a ride? A black Ferrari stopped in front of Tang Yun. Inside the window of the car was a young man who looked like a rich young master. He looked like he was sizing Tang Yun up. Zhao Fafa was also one of the owners of Changxiang Garden. His father was a contractor, and this Changxiang Garden was built by his father's company. Thus, Zhao Fafa's father, Zhao Guangxi, also had a house in Changxiang Garden. As Zhao Fafa's 20th birthday present, Zhao Guangxi gave him a villa in Changxiang Garden. Zhao Fafa had a car and a house. Although he was a student in a university, all he did was eat, drink and play with his friends. They called themselves the new Songshan Four Young Masters. The old Songshan Four Young Masters had disappeared for many years, so Zhao Fafa and the others called themselves the new Songshan Four Young Masters. Of course, there was a reason why Zhao Fafa was so active recently and called himself the head of the new Songshan Four Young Masters. Because his father, Zhao Guangxi, found a book about House Zhao's family when he was cleaning up the old house. According to the book, he recognized a cousin brother, and an uncle. This cousin brother was very powerful, so Zhao Guangxi became famous immediately. He got to know a lot of famous people and his company's business expanded a lot. So Zhao Fafa became arrogant as well. He felt that he had become a disciple of a famous house, one of the leaders of the younger generation in Songshan. Zhao Fafa, who was full of confidence, drove his car out of Changxiang Garden. He saw a beautiful girl waiting for the bus at the bus stop. She had a beautiful body and a beautiful face. Zhao Fafa's heart was moved. But Zhao Fafa was a man with good eyesight. He observed Tang Yun for a while before driving over to talk to her. From what he could see, Tang Yun was wearing a school uniform, so she should be from a poor family. She was holding a lunchbox in her hand. How many rich students would bring their own lunch? He looked at Tang Yun's position. It was the bus stop. She should be waiting for the bus here. If her family was rich, she would get a car to pick her up or drive her own car. If not, she would take a taxi to school. Waiting for the bus here was proof of Tang Yun's family's situation. So Zhao Fafa felt that it wouldn't be hard to get Tang Yun. This kind of girl who had never seen the world would be confused if he gave her some money. Tang Yun looked at Zhao Fafa in the Ferrari and didn't reply. It had been a long time since Tang Yun had encountered a situation like this, but she'd encountered it a lot back in the slums. That shamelessly Erlin used to pester her all the time, but Lin Yi beat him up and he didn't dare do it again. Pretty girl, are you in a hurry to go to school? Let me send you, I don't have anything to do anyway. Don't worry, I live in this area too. I'm from the Villa in A area. Look, I have a Villa area pass here. With that, Zhao Fafa took out the car pass and showed it to Tang Yun. He was telling her that he wasn't a bad guy and that he was her neighbor. In this materialistic society, many girls were vain. Zhao Fafa had met too many of them. So from Zhao Fafa's point of view, if this girl had a little bit of vanity, she would take the bait after he showed off his luxury car and mansion. After all, even if nothing happened between them, she would be able to ride a Ferrari to school. It was enough for her to brag to her classmates. Zhao Fafa, on the other hand, enjoyed the fun of hitting on girls. He wouldn't show it off the first time. But from his point of view, if this happened once, there would be a second time, a third time. As the two of them interacted more and more, there would be no one who wouldn't take the bait. Chapter 1246. A warning, however, it was obvious that Tang Yun had underestimated the character of the person in front of her. Seeing that he was asking so many questions, Tang Yun could only impatiently explain, "No need, thank you for your kindness. We live in the same area, we're neighbors. Get in the car, we'll be friends." Zhao Fafa paused, but he thought that Tang Yun was being reserved, so he didn't think much about it and continued. "I said it's fine." Tang Yun turned her head and ignored Zhao Fafa. Zhao Fafa didn't think that Tang Yun really didn't want to talk to him. Anger flashed in his eyes. Who was he? He was the leader of the Songshan Four Young Masters, and he couldn't even deal with a girl? Beauty, don't be so rude, right? Zhao Fafa looked at Tang Yun, salivating. What a beauty. Big breasts, beautiful face, tall body. She had all the advantages in one body. A trace of anger flashed across Tang Yun's face. Why was this person so annoying? Seeing that Tang Yun didn't want to talk, Zhao Fafa's face darkened even more. But the more it was like this, the more challenging it was. Picking up girls wasn't challenging at all, and he pushed them down easily. Plus, the girls he slept with weren't virgins, so Zhao Fafa didn't have any sense of achievement, and he didn't treasure it. But now, Zhao Fafa was guessing that this girl was still a virgin after seeing Tang Yun's behavior. That would be great. Just when Zhao Fafa was fantasizing, a Bentley slowly drove over and stopped behind the Ferrari. "Linny honey, it seems like someone is pestering Tang Yun sis." Xiao Xiao pointed at the car not far away. "Yeah, she'll bro, go teach him a lesson." Yushu said as if she wanted to see the world in chaos. She loved watching Linny beat people up. Linny got off the car speechlessly. He didn't think that there would be so much trouble on the first day he came to Tang Yun's new home. Back in the slums, after Lin Yi's fame spread, no one dared to cause trouble for Tang Yun. It was the same in school. Linny. Seeing that Lin Yi was here, Tang Yun breathed out in relief. Although they were in public, Tang Yun was afraid that Zhao Fafa would do something overboard. What should she do then? Now that Lin Yi was here, he could save himself some trouble. "Yin Yun, what does this kid do?" Lin Yi looked at Zhao Fafa and asked. "He's also a neighbor in the neighborhood. He insisted on sending me to school." Tang Yun didn't want Lin Yi to have a conflict with others, so she said it lightly. She didn't repeat Zhao Fafa's words. Zhao Fafa looked at Lin Yi, his face cold. Even an idiot could tell that Lin Yi was Tang Yun's boyfriend. Zhao Fafa felt like he was cheated. He thought that she was a pure and innocent girl, but he didn't expect her to be a puppy lover. She already had a boyfriend. However, Zhao Fafa liked to poach other people's girlfriends the most. It was a challenging thing, and it was very important for the four young masters of Songshan. Zhao Fafa got off the car and rolled his eyes. He looked at Lin Yi with disdain. He didn't notice that Lin Yi got off the Bentley behind him. His attention was on Tang Yun, how could he notice anything else? So the Bentley behind was automatically ignored by Zhao Fafa. "Kid, you're quite capable, aren't you? Not bad at picking up girls, huh?" Zhao Fafa looked at Lin Yi and extended his hand. "Let's get to know each other. I'm Zhao Fafa, one of the four young masters of Songshan." Lin Yi didn't want to talk to him at first, but when he heard that he was one of the four young masters of Songshan, he froze. Songshan's four young masters? Zhao Fafa didn't expect Lin Yi to know his name. He felt more confident now. "You've heard of my name too? Very well, I'll tell you this. No woman I, Zhao Fafa, will be able to escape from me." Tang Yun frowned. Why was this guy so shameless? Her boyfriend was here and he was still talking nonsense. She thought that he was a neighbor, so she gave him some face, but he was getting more and more out of hand. "Are you sick in the head?" Lin Yi looked at Zhao Fafa. "Songshan's four young masters? Which one are you?" "I know 3 of them and I've messed with 2 of them. You're the last one?" "Chem?" Zhao Fafa froze, then started laughing. Who didn't know how to talk big? Looking at Lin Yi, he couldn't help but mock. "You? Stop bragging. Don't bite your tongue. We'll meet again. Look after your girl, don't cry when I take her away from you." Zhao Fafa was alone today, so he didn't dare to fight with Lin Yi. He warned him and got into the car. This is your car? Lin Yi pointed at the Ferrari. What? Jealous? Zhao Fafa said proudly. You're blocking the road. Lin Yi kicked the Ferrari and it spun on the road, stopping not far away. On the body of the car, a footprint could be seen clearly. What? Zhao Fafa was dumbfounded. At this moment he forgot to be angry. How did this kid have so much strength? Did he just kick the car away? Was he still human? While Zhao Fafa was still in shock, Lin Yi pulled Tang Yun to the Bentley and got in. The Bentley slowly drove past Zhao Fafa's eyes. What the fuck? Zhao Fafa's eyes were filled with disbelief. Was this kid from a rich family too? Why was he sitting in a Bentley? Zhao Fafa knew how much a Bentley was worth. At least it was more expensive than his Ferrari. However, the more he looked at others, the more annoyed he was. From his point of view, this Bentley might not be Lin Yi's. It must be his family's. What was this? Didn't his father have a Rolls-Royce? But he had an extra sports car compared to Lin Yi. So, in terms of overall strength, he was stronger than Lin Yi. Snatching a girl from someone like him was more challenging and satisfying. With that thought, Zhao Fafa memorized the Bentley's license plate and prepared to investigate it. As for Tang Yun's background, he wanted to investigate it in the small district. They lived in the same district, so it was easy to get some information. Chapter 1247. Headmaster Ding, why did you beat him up? He's just a small fry, just give him a warning. Lin Yi didn't put Zhao Fafa in his eyes at all. He was just a kid from a rich family. After seeing the Bentley that he and Tang Yun sat in, he would probably give up on harassing Tang Yun. After all, provoking someone who was at the same level as him wasn't a smart choice. Unless this Zhao Fafa and his father had mental issues, they wouldn't fight each other to the death over such a small matter. Not long after they arrived at school, Jifeng came to the classroom of 12th grade class 5. He looked at the classroom and said, Mengyao Yushu Lin Yi, come with me for a while. The students in the classroom were starting to get curious. They'd seen how close Mengyao and Yushu had been recently. Could it be that Wang Jifeng was looking for them because they had puppy love tendencies? But wasn't Lin Yi a couple with Tang Yun? Could it be that he had some kind of relationship with Mengyao and Yushu? But Mengyao was the daughter of the chairman of the school. Jifeng wouldn't dare to say anything to her. The boring life of studying always made people want to gossip to relieve their stress. So, when the three of them left the classroom, people started to whisper among themselves. However, even Lin Yi himself, who was involved in this matter, was curious as to why Jifeng was looking for them. Fortunately, Jifeng didn't dare to act arrogant in front of them. He didn't take 2 steps and explained, Headmaster Ding asked me to look for you guys to discuss about the donation event for the orphanage? So it was like that. Lin Yi nodded. Other than that, there really wasn't any other reason to link him to Mengyao and Yushu on the surface. But even Jifeng himself had his own suspicions. When Lin Yi first transferred here, he didn't act like he was close with Mengyao. Instead he was with Tang Yun. This made Jifeng think that Lin Yi might just be related to Peng Zhan, but they weren't close at all. He was being manipulated by Lin Yi because Lin Yi caught his weakness, and it wasn't because he was trying to flatter Mengyao. But now it didn't seem to be the case. Especially these few days, Lin Yi, Tang Yun, Chen Mengyan, and Yushu went to school together. Jifeng felt that things weren't as simple as he thought. But even so, Jifeng didn't want to get to the bottom of it. No matter what their relationship was, it wasn't his concern. Bingong didn't stand up to greet them as they entered the office. Mengyao might be the miss of a rich family, but she was still a student. Bingong, on the other hand, was the headmaster of the school. He had to maintain some of his dignity. Fortunately, the miss wasn't a bossy person. She wouldn't do anything disrespectful in school. Take a seat yourselves. Bingong gestured for the 3 to sit on the sofa opposite him. Yao Yao, Shu, and Lin Yi, I called you here today to discuss the donation event for the orphanage. This is also Chairman Chu's idea. After all, you were the ones who suggested it first. If you have any suggestions, you can tell me. Mengyao and Yushu looked at each other. The 2 of them didn't have any experience like this, and it was just a flash of inspiration. How could they compare to a professional like Bingong in terms of giving suggestions? As the headmaster of the school, it wasn't the first time that Bingong had organized activities for students and teachers. He was more experienced than Mengyao and Yushu. Headmaster Ding, we're all students. We're not as experienced as you. I'm sure the school already has a plan in place. What do you want us to do? Lin Yi, of course, knew what Bingong was trying to say. Bingong's words were just polite words to save the Miss face. But with the Miss personality, she wouldn't care about such things. Lin Yi, on the other hand, could tell that Bingong really did have some trouble. He must have asked for Peng Zhan's approval before asking Jifeng to call them here. Bingong looked at Lin Yi, then at Mengyao and Yushu. The two didn't say anything. Evidently they agreed with Lin Yi's words. Bingong couldn't help but feel shocked. It seemed like the Miss and Shu were following Lin Yi. But this was good. With a smart person like Lin Yi here, it would save them a lot of trouble. And so Bingong said directly, here's the thing. After the school's discussion, we decided that it's not a problem to ask for donations, but it's not easy to get these bosses to donate money. Although the boss who received the invitation might generously donate 10 or 20,000 yuan, it shouldn't be a big sum of money for the orphanage. What I'm trying to say is, since we're doing this, we should raise as much money as we can, at least temporarily. Yes, Headmaster Ding, you're right. Lin Yi nodded and didn't say anything else, listening to Bingong. First of all, in order to get those celebrities to donate money willingly, we have to at least hold a show. If there's a show, there needs to be a host, and according to the current rules, the host should be a beautiful woman. Beautiful women are easy on the eyes. Bingong laughed dryly and said, although it's a bit tacky, in order to get those rich people to donate, we have to be tacky. And in the school there are 3 school beauties, Yao Yao, Shu and Tang Yun. I think there's Xiao Xiao now? Lin Yi was a little surprised. He didn't expect the old-fashioned Bingong to say something like this. Meng Yao, on the other hand, was a little embarrassed to be called a school beauty by the headmaster, but Shu, on the other hand, accepted it happily. Headmaster Ding, you want me and Shu to be the hosts? Meng Yao asked. Of course, that's my idea. Whether you guys are willing or not, I'll have to discuss it with you guys. Bingong nodded. Of course. Meng Yao nodded, not rejecting it. It's my duty to donate to the orphanage. Hosting. I'm not really suited for it. Yushu didn't want to go. She had to stand on the stage for so long, and for someone with ADHD like her, it was hard. How about this, let Tang Yun and Yao Yao do it? They're about the same height. Lin Yi thought about it and decided for Tang Yun. Chapter 1248. The celebrity seeks help. After this matter was settled, Bingong changed the topic. One more thing, even if we ask the celebrities to donate, I don't think they'll be able to get much, so I've decided to turn the second half of the event into an auction. We'll auction some items and the proceeds will all be donated to the orphanage. It'll be similar to those charity auctions. As for the items being auctioned, other than Chairman Chu providing a portion of it, if you have any more expensive items that you don't need, you can bring them out for the auction as well. It'll add some popularity to the auction. From Bingong's point of view, a miss like Meng Yao must have gotten a lot of expensive gifts since she was young. If there were any that she didn't need, she could bring them out and sell them for a good price. Especially the Miss' personal belongings. It was a little ambiguous. Bingong looked like an upright and old-fashioned person, but that wasn't the case. It was just that as the headmaster he had to be like that sometimes. Of course, Lin Yi, the Miss, and Shu didn't know about Bingong's dirty thoughts. If they knew, the Miss wouldn't have brought her things out for the auction. After everything was settled, Lin Yi, Meng Yao, and Yushu returned to class. The news that the school was going to hold a fundraising event was also announced. The preliminary round of the singing competition was also put on the agenda. At the same time, the celebrity Su Shirhan avoided the entertainment reporters and came to Songshan with Wang Sis. On the entertainment company's side, Su Shirhan's concert team was on the way to Songshan, but Su Shirhan and Wang Sis were nowhere to be seen. The two teams, one in the open and one in the dark, successfully attracted the attention of the entertainment media. Although the reporters didn't see Su Shirhan, they still believed that she was in the team. After all, this was Su Shirhan's concert planning team. Without Su Shirhan, how could they hold a concert? So everyone thought that Su Shirhan didn't want to be interviewed, so she hid in the team and didn't want to appear. An MPV quietly stopped at the entrance of the Floating Cloud Bar. A man in a hat and glasses, armed to the teeth, and a woman in her 30s alighted from the car and entered the bar. It wasn't the bar's business hours right now. It was only 10 o'clock in the morning. There wouldn't be any customers in the bar at this time, so the two's visit surprised the bar's staff. Ladies, may I ask why you're here? The waiter greeted them in surprise and asked. Is this Zhao Yaowang's clinic? We're here for a consultation. Sister Wang said calmly. She had already inquired about Zhao Yaowang's whereabouts and knew that this was the bar. Please wait a moment. The waiter did not dare to neglect. Hearing that they were here for consultation, he immediately turned around and went back to report. During this period of time, there was an endless stream of people coming to the bar to see Yaowang. This had become one of Yaowang's biggest sources of income, so the waiters knew about it. Not long after, Su Jianong walked out from the back of the bar. Seeing Su Shirhan's outfit, he was obviously taken aback. Could it be that she had some sort of leprosy disease and couldn't meet people anymore? Don't infect me. But for the sake of making money, Su Jiaonong naturally wouldn't show any disgusted expression. He smiled and said, "Excuse me, what illness are you here for? Were you happy before?" "Yes, my surname is Wang. You must be CEO Su Jiaonong, right? We just talked on the phone yesterday." Sister Wang smiled and said to Su Jiaonong, "Su Shihan." Su Jiaonong paused and immediately remembered the phone call yesterday. He also understood why the person in front of him was so well dressed. It was a superstar and they were afraid of being seen. No wonder they dressed like this. Sister Wang nodded with a smile and made a shushing gesture. "Sio Su, can you bring us to see Yao Wang now? Please." Su Jiaonong quickly made a gesture with a smile on his face. This was the superstar Su Shihan, the little rich lady in the entertainment industry, the real sugar daddy. This time, Master Bing was going to earn a fortune again. With that thought, Su Jiaonong became even more enthusiastic. "Yao Wang is free right now, please come in." Su Jiaonong brought Su Shihan and Sister Wang to the back room of the floating cloud bar and saw an old man with needles all over his body and a young man in a wheelchair. Both of them froze. "This." Sister Wang looked at Su Jiaonong in puzzlement. Were these two patients? Where was Yao Wang? "This is Zhao Qibing, Master Bing, our boss, and also Yao Wang's young master." Su Jiaonong introduced to Sister Wang and Shihan. Master Bing's leg was broken because of an accident, but with Yao Wang's treatment, it should be healed soon. "Hello, Master Bing." Sister Wang nodded politely to Zhao Qibing. "Hello, Manager Wang, right? I've heard about you from Jiaonong. Welcome." Zhao Qibing smiled and pointed at Yao Wang. "This is Yao Wang." "Ah." Sister Wang froze and looked at the old man with needles all over his body in disbelief. "What's that on his body?" Shihan asked in surprise. "Ah. This is a lightning rod used to avoid lightning when we go out. We don't want to be struck by lightning, so we stick them on our bodies." Zhao Qibing made up an excuse. He couldn't say that it was Lin Yi who did it and that he couldn't remove it. Wouldn't his reputation be ruined if he did? Lightning rod? Su Shihan froze and felt strange. Who would stick a lightning rod in their body? Was there something wrong with him? This Yao Wang, was he reliable or not? Why did it feel so strange? Ahem. Yao Wang quickly waved his hand and explained, "Master Bing was joking. In fact, this is a divine art that I practice. Look, these are all silver needles. I'm an expert in medicine and acupuncture, so I use acupuncture to increase my strength." "Oh, I see." Sister Wang understood, and her eyes flashed with admiration. Yao Wang is indeed a master to be able to use such a mysterious method to increase strength. "It's nothing, ha." Yao Wang laughed proudly. "Let's not talk about this for now, let's see the doctor first." "This is the superstar Shihan, right?" "Yes, it's Shihan." Sister Wang nodded. "Thank you, Yao Wang." Chapter 1249. The disease is cured. Before Su Shihan came, Yao Wang already knew what Qibing was thinking about. Qibing was a very perverted person, and he wanted to take advantage of the fact that the superstar was here to get close to her. This Su Shihan, on the other hand, covered herself up so tightly that it wasn't pleasing to the eye at all. Seeing Master Bing's expression, Yao Wang naturally suggested it for him. As expected, after hearing Yao Wang's suggestion, Qibing's expression relaxed. Qibing was also a fan of Su Shihan, and now that there was a chance to get close to her, how could he let it go? Usually when Yao Wang was treating patients, he wouldn't be there. This time he was here for Su Shihan. Do I really have to open it?" Su Shihan was hesitant. Qibing's invasive gaze made her a little wary. Su Shihan had a strong sense of self-protection. She could sense anyone who had bad intentions towards her. Otherwise, she would have been tainted by the entertainment industry a long time ago. "Of course." Yao Wang nodded. Traditional Chinese medicine focuses on look, listen, question, and feel the pulse. You're covered up, so the first look won't work. How are we going to proceed to the next step? "So that's how it is." Wang Sis nodded. "Han, quickly take off your sunglasses and hat. There are no outsiders here, so there won't be any reporters watching." And Su Shihan had no choice, she could only take off her hat and sunglasses. The beauty that blossomed in that instant was out of this world, and Zhao Qibing's eyes widened. What he didn't expect was that Su Shihan was even more beautiful and pure than on TV. She was 10,000 times more beautiful than pictures and movies. Qibing couldn't help but be tempted. If he could spend the night with Su Shihan, it would be such a great thing. Qibing wanted to find a suitable opportunity to bring it up. "Yao Wang, how is it?" Su Shihan could only pretend that she didn't see Qibing's naked gaze. She needed his help and she couldn't just leave. If Yao Wang really had a way to cure her, then she could only endure it. You often get headaches for no reason, right? Although Yao Wang's medical skills were superb, he couldn't tell what was wrong with Su Shihan. However, he wouldn't let Su Shihan go so easily. Putting aside the fact that he wanted to earn money from Su Shihan, Zhao Qibing was definitely interested in her. If he said that he couldn't cure her, then Zhao Qibing wouldn't have any chance at all. Yes. Su Shihan nodded. I don't know when it happened, but I started having headaches all of a sudden. There's no pattern at all, and it can be treated. Yao Wang carefully checked again and nodded. Is there really a way? Su Shihan was shocked. After so many years, she had seen many famous doctors, but in the end, there was no good solution. She didn't expect Yao Wang to have a solution. Of course, I'm not called the king pharmacist for nothing. The king of medicine said proudly, it can be said that there are no illnesses in this world that can baffle me. None of them are difficult for me. That's great. I wonder how the medicine king will treat him? As for the treatment fee, Wang Sis was overjoyed and quickly asked. At this moment, Su Shihan suddenly covered her temples with both of her hands as she bent down in pain. Cold sweat immediately appeared on her forehead. She didn't think that her headache would act up at this time. However, this was a good thing. It allowed Yao Wang to see the symptoms of her illness more directly. So she gritted her teeth and raised her head. It's acting up. It's starting to hurt again. It's okay. Wait for a moment, I'll get the medicine. I'll guarantee that you'll be cured. Yao Wang turned and walked into the inner room. Not long after, he took out a bottle of unknown medicine. He took one out and gave it to Su Shihan. Take it now, I guarantee that you'll see the effects immediately. Su Shihan didn't hesitate and quickly swallowed the pill Yao Wang gave her. But a miracle really happened. Not long after, Su Shihan's headache weakened and very quickly, it didn't hurt at all. It doesn't hurt anymore? It really doesn't hurt anymore? Su Shihan widened her eyes in surprise. Wasn't the medicine working too fast? It was practically instantaneous. All the medicines she used to relieve headaches didn't have this effect? Of course, if this medicine doesn't work, then I wouldn't be called Yao Wang. Yao Wang waved his hand calmly and said with a mysterious look. In reality, what he gave Su Shihan was just a strong analgesic medicine. He didn't know why Su Shihan was having a headache, but he didn't care. Yao Wang always followed the principle of treating the symptoms and not the root cause. As long as it's cured now, it's fine. Who cares what happens in the future? The money in front of him has to be earned first. If there were any problems in the future, it had nothing to do with him. This powerful analgesic drug was similar to a drug. It was given to seriously injured martial artists to take when they couldn't hold on any longer. Could also play a role in prolonging their lives. However, this kind of thing had too many side effects and too much dependence, so it was useless to take more of it. It was just that Yao Wang didn't care what would happen after Su Shihan took it. He only wanted the benefits in front of him. This medicine won't have any side effects, right? Su Shihan wasn't stupid. This kind of instant effect was a bit too magical, so it was normal for her to be worried. Of course not, this old man is using pure herbal medicine. It doesn't contain any chemicals. You know herbs, there are no side effects at all. Many herbs are used as seasonings. Yao Wang naturally wouldn't tell the truth about the side effects of the medicine. That's good. Su Shihan nodded, but she was still worried. Then this medicine, will it cure the symptoms or the root cause? It can relieve the headache, but can it cure it? If this medicine is taken over a long period of time, it will naturally be able to cure the illness. However, if you want to recover faster, you will need to use other Chinese herbal medicines to help. Yao Wang said, after Miss Su confirms the treatment, I will give you the prescription. Of course it's treatment. Yao Wang has such superb medical skills, of course we have to stay here for treatment. Wang Sis quickly said. But I don't know about the treatment fee. Chapter 1250. Zhao Qibing's threat. After he finished speaking, the medicine king took back the pills he had taken out earlier and turned around to enter the inner room. He did not hesitate at all and did not take away a single cloud. He was like an otherworldly expert, coming and going in a hurry. Only Zhao Qibing, Su Jianong, Wang Sis and Su Shihan were left. Wang Sis paused and turned to Zhao Qibing. She was confused. Yao Wang was the one treating the patient, why did he have to name a price? But since Yao Wang said so, Wang Sis could only turn her head and look at Zhao Qibing. Master Bing, about the treatment plan and the medical fees? That's easy, it's not a big deal. Miss Su Shihan, I'm Zhao Qibing and I've been admiring you for a long time. I've already prepared a banquet at Floating Cloud Hotel, and it's almost noon. I wonder if Miss Su would like to join me for lunch? Zhao Qibing smiled as he gestured for her to go. Lunch? Shihan frowned unnoticeably. She knew what this Zhao Qibing was thinking. He wanted to get close to her, but she was here to cure her illness. She didn't want to have anything to do with him, so she smiled and looked at Wang Sis. Master Zhao, Shirhan is in a rush. She still has to prepare for the concert. She doesn't have much time. Let's forget about lunch. Maybe next time. Let's talk about the treatment first? Wang Sis politely rejected Zhao Qibing's suggestion. What? Miss Su doesn't want to give me face? Zhao Qibing's face darkened. If Miss Su is busy, then go ahead. When you're free, we'll talk about the treatment. Mr. Su, send them off. That's... Wang Sis froze. She didn't think that Zhao Qibing wouldn't give her face like this. He wouldn't treat her if she didn't eat. There was such a rule. Manager Wang, Miss Su, please. Su Jianong walked over and said faintly. Wang Sis finally understood that Zhao Qibing was serious. If she didn't eat with him, he wouldn't let Yao Wang continue treating her. This Yao Wang obviously listened to his orders, and without Qibing's permission he wouldn't give Su Shirhan another pill. Thinking of this, Sister Wang had no choice but to awkwardly smile and say, Xiao Han, since it's hard to refuse young Master Zhao's hospitality, why don't we go eat something? We have to eat anyway. Su Shirhan was very unhappy, but there was nothing she could do. In order to cure the disease, she could only nod reluctantly. As a public figure, it was inevitable that she would participate in some activities that she wasn't willing to participate in, so Su Shirhan was mentally prepared for this. All right, since Master Bing said so, let's go. Shirhan nodded. That's more like it. Qibing was delighted. Trying to be reserved with me? I hate being reserved the most. You're a celebrity. Although you look good on the surface, everyone knows what you're doing in the dark. Because they were going out, Su Shirhan still put on her hat and sunglasses and quickly got into her MPV. Qibing originally wanted to sit in the same car with her, but Wang Sis clearly didn't want him to get in. Qibing had a wheelchair and it was inconvenient for him to move. He didn't even get to the front of the MPV before Wang Sis closed the door. There was no other way. Qibing could only curse in his heart. Stupid bitch, I'll make you beg me to fuck you or else I won't let Yao Wang treat you. You'll die from the pain. Qibing got into his MPV and led the way to Starlight Hotel. Wang Sis, this Zhao Qibing obviously doesn't have any good intentions. Shirhan looked at Wang Sis worriedly after getting in the car. This trip wouldn't be as smooth as it seemed. Yeah, I think so too. Wang Sis nodded. But sometimes we have to lower our heads when we're under someone else's roof. We need his help and you've seen it yourself. That Yao Wang is indeed powerful. One pill and he cured the disease. This has never happened before. That's true, but if Zhao Qibing really makes some unreasonable requests, then I won't treat him. Shirhan said stubbornly. We'll see. He's probably just a fan of yours wanting to have a meal with you intimately. We can't ask for too much, after all we're paying for the treatment. Wang Sis said. I hope so. Shirhan nodded. In the luxurious room of Starlight Hotel, Zhao Qibing sat on the main seat, and under his strong request, Su Shirhan had no choice but to sit next to him. On the other side of Zhao Qibing was Su Jianong. Yao Wang didn't attend. Qibing's intention was clear. If she wanted to treat him, she had to talk to him. If he wasn't happy, then there was no need to talk. Miss Su, I'm your fan. I've liked you since long ago. When we were in school, I used to masturbate with your picture, haha. Qibing raised his glass and said shamelessly. I didn't expect to see you today, Miss Su. You're even prettier than in your picture. Even I'm getting excited. Come, Miss Su, let me toast to you. Shirhan's face turned green. She'd seen shameless people before, but they were mostly suggestive. Someone like Qibing saying such disgusting things right off the bat, Shirhan had never heard of such a thing before. Was there such a shameless person in this world? Using her picture to masturbate? Shirhan really wanted to flip the table and leave right there. Of course, as a superstar, Shirhan couldn't rule out the possibility of perverts fantasizing about doing dirty things to her. Shirhan couldn't control others. But, to say it out loud in front of him, this Zhao Qibing was really a piece of work. Young Master Zhao sure knows how to joke, but Shirhan is a girl. This kind of joke shouldn't be made, right? Wang Sis tried to smooth things over. Master Bing, thank you for your warm hospitality. We're here for treatment, but you're treating us. I'm so sorry. Are you kidding me? I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. Qibing waved his hand and said faintly. Manager Wang, trust me. You should be able to understand what I mean. Wang Sis's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Qibing really had feelings for Shirhan? From the looks of it, that was most likely the case. Young Master Zhao, please behave yourself. Shirhan is here for treatment and we'll pay for it. I hope you won't make things difficult for everyone. Wang Sis saw that Zhao Qibing had shed all pretense of cordiality, so there was no need to hide anymore. Chapter 1251. Bodyguard or spy. Shirhan's face turned very, very pale. Qibing's words were too much. She didn't know what happened to other people, but she, Shirhan, was absolutely innocent. Since her debut, she hadn't even filmed an intimate scene with a man, let alone having a relationship with someone else. Young Master Zhao, I hope you understand that we're paying to see a doctor. Yao Wang is treating us and it's not like we're not paying. We can't agree to your request. Wang Sis rejected Qibing's proposal. Paying? You think you're so great just because you're rich? Don't you know who I am? I'm the young master of the hidden house Zhao. What's money in my eyes? I have money. Don't think that just because you have money I have to treat you. This isn't a hospital. If you think you're rich, you can go to the hospital. But here money doesn't work. Qibing laughed coldly and raged. You either stay with me or leave. Make your choice. You. Su Shirhan was so angry that her body was shaking. Her headache came back again. Su Shirhan held her temples as cold sweat dripped down from her forehead. Han, what's wrong? Wang Sis was shocked and quickly held Su Shirhan's hand. It's nothing. Wang Sis, I'll be fine in a while. Shirhan breathed heavily. What a pain. You reap what you sow. If you'd agreed to my request earlier, this wouldn't have happened, right? Qibing laughed coldly as if he had Shirhan in his grasp. Wang Sis, let's go. Shirhan gritted her teeth and stood up. Her personality was like this. She'd rather die than submit. The more you forced her, the more she wouldn't submit. Even if she died, she wouldn't submit to you. If he really cured her and their relationship improved, Shirhan might really give herself to him. After all, humans were sentimental creatures. It was hard to say what would happen after a long time. But what Su Shirhan hated the most was this kind of arrogant and threatening people. She would rather die in pain than give in. Han? Wang Sis was in a difficult position. She'd finally found a famous doctor and now it was like this. Capsule, since they don't want to see us, let's send them off. Zhao Qibing on the other hand didn't think much of it. As long as he had Yao Wang as his trump card, he didn't have to worry about not taking the bait. At that time, your headache will be unbearable, and you will have no choice but to come and beg me. Manager Wang, Miss Su, please. Su Jianong stood up and said lightly. At the same time, everything that happened in the private room was clearly heard by the driver of the business car downstairs. What Wang Sis didn't know was that her phone was bugged, and the person who bugged her was her driver and assistant, Su Shirhan's bodyguard, Feng Sanhuang. The name Feng Sanhuang sounded like a butler or a servant in a big family. It wasn't common, but of course it was just a name. It didn't matter if it was a little weird. The important thing was that he was good at martial arts. He had been protecting Su Shirhan for the past few years. He was conscientious and responsible. This was also the reason why Wang Sis and Su Shirhan valued him so much. But no one would have thought that such a seemingly loyal person would actually install a listening device in Sister Wang's phone. Feng Sanhuang's face darkened as he listened to Qibing's words. He hesitated for a moment before dialing a phone number. Sanhuang? What's the matter? The call went through quickly and a deep male voice came from the other side. I heard that Han is going to Songshan for a concert? What happened? Why didn't I know about this? I'm sorry, Master. The concert happened too suddenly and I didn't have time to report. Feng Sanhuang quickly explained. It was last night. Manager Wang made the decision. What's going on? Why the rush? Did something happen? Did the company force Han? The man called Master asked in a deep voice. That's not it. I've already asked someone to hint to Manager Zhang of the entertainment company. He wouldn't force the miss. Feng Sanhuang said. It's like this. I heard that there's a miracle doctor here in Songshan called Zhao Yaowang. He can cure the miss's headache, so Manager Wang brought the miss here to see the doctor. That's why he's holding the concert in Songshan. I see. Feng Sanhuang's master nodded. So what? Han's headache. That Zhao Yaowang gave the miss an unknown pill, and her headache was immediately suppressed. It seems like it's working, but Zhao Yaowang's master, Zhao Qibing, is a pervert. He wants the miss to satisfy some of his desires, or he won't treat the miss. Feng Sanhuang said. Master, do you need me, Zhao Qibing? Who is he? Feng Sanhuang's master asked. Just an illegitimate son of a hidden house. I've already investigated him. Feng Sanhuang said faintly. Feng Sanhuang had only been in Songshan for one morning, and he already knew everything about Zhao Qibing. Although Zhao Qibing had revealed his identity at the banquet, he didn't mention that he was an illegitimate son. This meant that Feng Sanhuang's information network was extremely huge. An illegitimate son of a hidden house? From the hidden house Zhao? Feng Sanhuang's master asked. Yes, that's right. He dared to covet the miss. Feng Sanhuang didn't seem to care about the hidden house Zhao at all. No need. A hidden house isn't a big deal, but I don't want your identity to be exposed right now. At least not now. Feng Sanhuang's master sighed. Soon. It won't be long before I become the head of the sect and I'll reunite with Han. No one will dare to do anything to her then. Congratulations, master. Feng Sanhuang was slightly stunned and said with some excitement. He knew that the master had been waiting for this day for a long time. Once he became the head of the sect, he wouldn't have to be afraid of the pressure from the mistress's family. And let's not talk about this, you just need to protect the miss. This Zhao Yaowang actually has a way to cure Han's headache? Even the doctors on my side can't see any problems? How about this, don't let Han take the pill randomly, and try to get one of Zhao Yaowang's pills for me to see. Don't let anything go wrong. Feng Sanhuang's master said. Yes, master. I understand, master. Feng Sanhuang nodded. Chapter 1252. Chapter 1250 Zhao Qibing's deduction. Replying to master, there is no news of second mistress for the time being. Feng Sanhuang also sighed. There has been no news for so many years. Back then, second mistress suffered such heavy injuries. I'm afraid that she has met with misfortune. I know. Man, do your best. Sanhuang's master said. Okay. Master, miss is coming out, I'll hang up first. Sanhuang saw Shirhan and Wang Sis walk out of the hotel and quickly hung up. He believed that the master wouldn't blame him, because the master wouldn't allow Sanhuang to reveal his identity. All these years, Sanhuang had been a bodyguard for Shirhan, a real bodyguard. Although he was hired by Wang Sis in name, that wasn't the case. He had already helped Shirhan deal with too many things, too many people. Otherwise, Shirhan's career wouldn't be this smooth. In Sanhuang's eyes, anyone who disrespected the miss had to die. Miss Su, Wang Sis, how come you're done eating so soon? Sanhuang saw Shirhan and Wang Sis coming back and naturally pretended not to know what was going on. This was in line with his identity as a driver, assistant, and bodyguard. Su Shirhan had returned to normal by now. She had rested in the bathroom for half a day before coming out. This gave Sanhuang enough time to make a call. Hey. Little Feng, this Zhao Qibing isn't a good person, asking Xiaohan to sleep with him, what the hell? Why don't you take a look at yourself, who do you think you are, how dare you have thoughts about Xiaohan? Wang Sis shook her head, but he also said that if Xiaohan doesn't sleep with him, there's no need to talk about the treatment. This guy really isn't a good person. Sanhuang pretended not to know and immediately started scolding Zhao Qibing. Wang Sis, what do we do now? What else can we do? From what Zhao Qibing said, there's no room for compromise, and he seems to be the young master of some noble house. Not interested in money, we can't even spend money. Wang Sis said angrily, I'm afraid there's no hope. Wang Sis, forget it, we won't treat him, it's nothing, I can endure it. Shirhan was optimistic, I've endured it for so many years, what's the difference now? It's been hard on Xiaohan. This Zhao Qibing really isn't a good person. Wang Sis sighed. After they left, Jiaoneng asked in a low voice, Master Bing, should we get Sihua to get someone to tie Su Shirhan up? No need. Su Shirhan is a public figure after all, it wouldn't be good to force her. If something really happened, it wouldn't be easy to clean up the mess. Qibing waved his hand. But Su Shirhan, this girl sure knows what to do. He could actually endure the headache? Wasn't it just getting fucked? Can't die? Are there any less performers like them who get fucked? This? Su Jiaoneng hesitated. Master Bing, Su Shirhan hasn't had any scandals since her debut. On her fan club forum, many fans believe that Su Shirhan is still a virgin. Are you serious? She's a virgin? Qibing paused. No way? It seems like it's possible now. Jiaoneng analyzed. Master Bing, think about it, if Su Shirhan wasn't a virgin, letting you sleep with her for a night wouldn't be a problem, it could even cure her headache. But now, it seems like Su Shirhan's attitude is a bit problematic. You're right. Qibing nodded. If Su Shirhan is really a virgin, then I'm really lucky. But I'm afraid that Su Shirhan won't come back. Jiaoneng was worried. If that's the case, Su Shirhan might just leave today? No way? She'd rather stay in pain? Qibing didn't quite believe it. It's hard to say, Jiaoneng shook his head. Leaving Qibing aside, the news of Su Shirhan's concert spread like wildfire. Whether it was on TV or media, they all began to publicize the concert. Su Shirhan looked at the flyer and felt helpless. If she knew this would happen, she wouldn't have stayed here to treat her illness. She wouldn't have organized this concert. But the publicity had already been released and it was impossible to stop it. Su Shirhan could only grit her teeth and continue rehearsing, trying to make the concert a success. Wow, the publicity for Su Shirhan's concert is out already? Yushu was surprised as she looked at the news on her phone. And I've already booked the tickets through the internet. If I didn't book it in advance, the tickets would probably be sold out. Mengyao had already prepared for this. You can book tickets with your phone too? Tang Yun was surprised. She wasn't familiar with these high-tech things and she had never used a phone before. The phone Lin Yi bought for her was only for calling and texting, she didn't use any other functions. Yes, but you need to set up a monthly data plan, Mengyao said. Right, Lin Yi, did you talk to Yun Yun about being the host? And I texted her and she said that she would try, Lin Yi nodded. I'm afraid that I won't be able to do it well? This was Tang Yun's first time as a host. She didn't like to show her face in public. She knew that she was very beautiful and she didn't want people to harass her, so she kept a low profile. But now that she had Lin Yi's protection, no one dared to harass her in school anymore, so Tang Yun was able to relax. Being a host for a public event while she was still a student was a good experience. It's fine, they're all good lines. Just read them. Mengyao didn't feel nervous at all. She was a lady from a rich family and she was confident. Plus, just do whatever you want, no one will do anything to you if you say something wrong. It's just a school event, it's not an official live broadcast. Hearing Mengyao say it so casually, Tang Yun calmed down. Right, this is my mom's braised chicken leg, do you guys want to try it? Originally, when we moved into our new house, we wanted to invite you to Liaoguadi for a feast, but Xiao Xiao got into trouble so it was delayed. So, my mom specially brought some chicken legs. Sure, I love chicken drumsticks. Yushu said as she picked one up with her chopsticks and started eating. The food in the cafeteria wasn't here yet, so she could start eating first. Xiao Xiao picked up a drumstick and started wolfing it down without a care in the world. Chapter 1253. Chapter 1251. Guessed right? Not bad. I've tried Mrs. Tang's cooking before. Lin Yi took a drumstick and took a bite. Tang Yun felt very satisfied as she looked at the group eating the drumsticks. Life sure was strange. Never in her wildest dreams would she have thought that she'd become good friends with Mengyao and Yushu. The three of them were known as school beauties, but Tang Yun knew very well the difference between her and Mengyao and Yushu. One was a commoner school beauty, and the other was a rich Mississippi. If it weren't for Lin Yi, Tang Yun wouldn't have been able to eat at the same table with Mengyao and Yushu even after graduation, let alone going out and living in the same tent. After graduation, everyone would go their separate ways and they wouldn't meet again. Maybe in a future reunion, Mengyao would take over Pengzhan Industries, and Shu would be by her side, and they'd become even more dazzling. She, on the other hand, would become like her mother because of time? Now that she thought about it, her mother's snobbishness wasn't unreasonable. Who didn't want to live a better life? It was just that she didn't understand this before and she never thought about it. Fortunately, the heavens let her meet Lin Yi, and after meeting him, life became completely different. Maybe in a future reunion she'd be able to sit with the Miss and Shu. Life was really strange. Since Yun Yun and I are the hosts of the event, we won't have the chance to participate in the singing competition anymore. Shu, you and Xiao Xiao can participate if you want, right? Mengyao asked. If Yao Yao isn't going, I won't go either, Yushu said. If Yun Yun sis isn't going, I won't go either, Xiao Xiao said. Mengyao and Tang Yun looked at each other, speechless. In that instant, the miss felt that Tang Yun had really gotten stronger. Before she knew it, Xiao Xiao had run over to her side, and the two seemed to be evenly matched now. If they were to fight again, it'd be a 2-2 tie. But now, the possibility of a war was very, very small. Even if Xiao Xiao really did leave, the three wouldn't be able to go back to the tense situation they used to be. After all, their friendship had been formed, and no one would want to turn against each other again. They could only accept each other and endure it silently. Mengyao wondered if this was a good thing or a bad thing. Good things and bad things, what does that have to do with me? She had never liked Lin Yi. Yes, she didn't like him. In the afternoon, the school changed to a self-study session, and each class sent out some of their better singers to the field for the competition. Since it didn't concern them, Lin Yi, Mengyao, Yushu, Tang Yun, and Xiao Xiao didn't go watch, instead going to their own classrooms to study. Lingshan drove to Donghai and met Huaijuan in one of the hotel rooms. If it were someone else, Lingshan, naturally, wouldn't go to a place as intimate as a hotel room. If word got out, people would think that she was seducing her boss to get a higher position. But Huaijuan was fine. Everyone in the police station knew that Lingshan had always treated Huaijuan as her big brother, and that Huaijuan had always taken good care of her. Other than their sibling bond, there wasn't anything special between the two. Of course, this was also because Huaijuan was a righteous man, and he didn't have any rumors. Otherwise it would be hard to say. Director Yang, I hope I'm not interrupting your work? Lingshan was pleasantly surprised to see Huaijuan. Huaijuan had been transferred out not long after she'd been promoted to captain, and she hadn't seen him since. Seeing him here, Lingshan felt a sense of familiarity. Ha Song, this isn't a unit. Just call me Yang bro, why call me director? It's so distant. Huaijuan was doing pretty well. His injuries were under control after taking the medicine Lin Yi gave him, and it didn't hurt as much anymore. He felt a lot more relaxed. Okay, I'll call you Yang bro then. Lingshan was very obedient in front of Huaijuan, like a little sister. But Lingshan only saw Huaijuan as an idol. She didn't have any romantic feelings for him. Idolatry and love were two different things. She didn't know why, but she had this feeling that Lin Yi was stronger than the young bro she respected. Lingshan felt very guilty. She was just a normal woman after all, forgetting about her brother when she had a lover. What's wrong? Why's your face turning red and white? Huaijuan asked curiously. It's nothing. Lingshan shook her head, a little embarrassed. I just thought of someone. It's nothing? Oh? Who did you think of? You're not thinking of a boyfriend, are you? Huaijuan teased as he looked at Lingshan. Of course not. Lingshan jumped in fright. No way, right? Yang bro was a criminal investigator after all. He could tell what was on her mind with just one look. Oh? Huaijuan asked casually, not expecting this kind of expression from Lingshan. It seemed like he'd guessed right. Huaijuan couldn't help but smile. Lin Yi? Ah. Lingshan blinked, remembering the relationship between Lin Yi and Huaijuan. She quickly shook her head. Of course not. Looks like I guessed it right. Huaijuan smiled. We're all friends, why'd you hide it from me? Yeah. Lin Yi said that you're his comrade? You guys know each other? Lingshan said subconsciously before explaining. There's nothing between me and Lin Yi, we're just normal friends, he doesn't like me. Oh? He told you all this? It seems like you guys are pretty close. Huaijuan looked at Lingshan with a smile that wasn't a smile. Lin Yi didn't really want to talk about the past, but since he'd told Lingshan all this, it meant that they were close to each other. There was no way Lin Yi would tell her all this otherwise. It's alright, just a little better than normal friends. Lingshan wanted to say that she'd taken off her clothes, but she didn't. It was too embarrassing. Lin Yi didn't even do anything when she took off her clothes. Chapter 1254. Huaijuan, surprised, Grandpa introduced me to a boyfriend, House Yu's phone. I'm so annoyed. Lingshan was troubled just thinking about it. She didn't know what her grandpa was thinking, getting her a fiancé. She wouldn't have told her grandpa about her breakthrough if she'd known. House Yu phone? Huaijuan blinked. He was also a child of an aristocratic family. Although the Yang family was not very famous, it was still an authentic aristocratic family. This kind of aristocratic family usually had an old ancestor who was in seclusion. Moreover, they did not compete for the position of one of the 4 aristocratic families. It was enough to have a place among the 5 small aristocratic families. Therefore, no one would offend such an aristocratic family, but they would also not be excluded too much. Naturally, Huaijuan had heard of Yu Feng's name, but what puzzled him was why House Yu and House Song would form a marriage alliance. House Song's advantage wasn't that obvious? Other than the dual practitioner arts, there wasn't anything else worth mentioning. I'm a golden class late phase peak now. Lingshan didn't hide anything from Huaijuan. This is also why House Yu wants to marry me. They think that I'm already a golden class late phase peak at such a young age, and that my future is limitless. Especially if I dual practice with House Yu, everyone will benefit. You? Golden class late phase peak. Huaijuan's eyes were wide as if he'd seen a ghost. He looked at Lingshan, unable to believe what she was saying. Huaijuan spoke after a while, shocked. Song, if I remember correctly, you were only a golden class early phase peak when I left Songshan a while ago, right? How did you become a mystic late phase peak all of a sudden? Young bro, if I tell you, can you keep it a secret? Lingshan didn't want to say it, but after some hesitation she felt that since Huaijuan was Lin Yi's comrade, and the two were close, it wouldn't hurt to tell him, but the condition was that he had to keep it a secret. Lingshan naturally knew the importance of this. If people knew that Lin Yi could quickly increase someone else's strength, they'd come for Lin Yi or cause trouble for Lin Yi. That wasn't something Lingshan wanted to see. That was why she was being so careful. Of course. But you don't have to tell me if you want to keep it a secret, I understand. Huaijuan didn't force Lingshan to tell himself. Everyone had their own secrets. Young bro, what's your relationship with Linny? Lingshan asked. Huaijuan paused, not expecting Lingshan to ask about Linny instead of answering his question. Could it be that Lingshan's sudden leveling up had something to do with Linny? He didn't want to hide anything. Linny was my captain before. He's Huaijuan. You've guessed. He's someone I respect and he's helped a lot. Linny Shu, Linny Lin Hu, Linny is half told. Who, I who Linim I who dash E Lin, who dash I Lin, I've been injured you know that, but the reason why I'm looking so good is because of Lin Yi. Lingshan paused. She didn't expect Lin Yi to be Huaijuan's captain. No wonder he was so good and solving cases for her seemed like a piece of cake to him. She admired Yang Bro so much and Lin Yi was Yang Bro's captain. That meant that he was even better. If that was the case, then it wasn't a big deal for him to think that Lin Yi was stronger than Yang Bro. Even Yang Bro himself admitted it. With that thought, Lingshan felt a lot less guilty. My level up. It's all because of Lin Yi. Lingshan sighed. Surprised, right? I'm surprised too. You've been duel practicing? Huaijuan asked, frowning. No. Lingshan shook her head. It's a little embarrassing to say it aloud. I tried to seduce him but I failed. Lingshan didn't bother hiding it in front of her brother. So what if it was funny? Huaijuan, however, didn't mind Lingshan's seductive words. He focused on the first half of the sentence. You guys didn't duel practicing, so does that mean that your strength was directly increased by him? That's right, one day, not even a day, and I leveled up. Lingshan smiled bitterly. I really don't know if he has more tricks up his sleeves. And young bro, I won't hide it from you, but the last few cases I solved were all solved by Lin Yi, thanks to your advice. Solving cases, I know that. Lin Yi was in our team back then and he had a very sharp sense of smell, able to detect things that normal people can't. Huaijuan said. But the leveling up thing. I don't really know. But Lingshan, don't tell anyone about this, you have to keep it a secret, okay? This matter is too important. I know. Other than Yang Bro, my sister is the only one who knows about this. Lingshan said solemnly. She knew how serious this was even if Lin Yi didn't seem to care much about it. He'd already leveled up the dog to a golden class late phase peak. Alright, let's end this topic here. Huaijuan didn't plan on asking for more details, he'd ask Lin Yi about the details himself, and he believed that Lin Yi wouldn't hide anything from him. It wouldn't be good for Lingshan to say it already, it'd be bad if Lin Yi did something to her. And so, Huaijuan changed the topic. Song, tell me why you're here. What kind of trouble are you in? Yeah, it's one missing person case after another. Lingshan took out the files and handed it to Huaijuan. Young bro, look at these files. From the looks of it, the missing people in these cases aren't related at all, but the cause of their disappearance is pretty much the same. Yeah, I'll take a look first. Huaijuan nodded and took the files, sitting on the bed and flipping through them. Lingshan didn't say anything, only waiting quietly. Chapter 1255. There's a clue. Yes. Lingshan nodded. Young bro, I feel like these cases seem normal, but there's so many coincidences that it's unusual. I feel like there's a possibility of combining all these cases, and so I'm putting them all together. But up until now, I still haven't figured out the motive of the culprit or the criminal organization. What's their goal? Even if they're the ones who caught the missing people, what's the point of them catching them? That's right, the fact that you're able to think of all this means that you've done your analysis. Huaijuan nodded. But haven't you noticed that all these missing people have one thing in common? What is it? Their occupations, their ages, they're all different. They don't even know each other. Lingshan blinked. They're the lowest class of workers in society, and none of them have good financial conditions. Huaijuan said as he pointed at the case files. None of these people's families are rich. If that's the case, then we can make a bold guess. Why would these people run away after beating people up? According to the case files, the victims in these cases are basically all lightly injured or even worse than that. The suspects are the majority, and they only need to pay civil compensation. If their families were rich, they could just pay some money, why would they run away? Huaijuan continued. Of course, this is just on the surface. Looking at it from a deeper level, these people's crimes and escapes are pretty much the same, and we can't just use superficial reasons to analyze it. Let's make a bold hypothesis. If I'm the mastermind and I'm looking for people to do things for me to achieve a certain goal, I'll probably kill them after I'm done. Then I'll create some false pretenses to confuse the police and the public, making them think that these people ran away on their own. It's completely reasonable. So you're saying that these people's disappearances were planned by someone? and that the missing people were even cooperating with the mastermind to put on a show? Lingshan said, shocked. She'd felt that something wasn't right before, but she couldn't put her finger on it. Now that Huaijuan said it, she understood. Yes. Huaijuan nodded. The missing person didn't cooperate, and the mastermind alone wouldn't be able to pull this off. How many people do you think would do something like that, if they just ran away after beating someone up? Even if it happens occasionally, it's very rare. How could so many people run away at once? Then, why would they cooperate? Is it because of benefits? Lingshan wasn't an idiot, she figured it out right away. This brings us back to the common point that I mentioned earlier. They are all from poor families. If people like them are given a chance to make money and are enticed, perhaps 50% of them will take the bait. Huaijuan nodded. So, I think you shouldn't put your focus on finding the missing people. If I'm not mistaken, they're either dead or locked up, and you won't have much of a chance of finding them. Your main focus should be on visiting some of the lower levels of society and asking around to see if there have been any recent attempts to use benefits to entice people to do something. I don't believe that the suspect can convince everyone 100% of the time. There must be people who refused, and you should look for clues from those who refused. Ah, that's right. Yang bro, hearing you say that makes me feel like I've been enlightened. Lingshan said. Ah, it'll get better after a while. It's actually a very simple problem, I've just been exposed to it a lot. Huaijuan smiled. I think that as long as you follow this train of thought when you get back, you'll be able to solve the case pretty soon. Yes, thank you for the guidance, Yang bro. Lingshan said sincerely. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about you and House Yu. Since you're engaged to House Yu, then Lin Yi? Huaijuan was still a little worried about Lin Yi. After all, House Yu was a big family, and it wouldn't be good if they got into a conflict. House Yu's way of doing things is very domineering. If they find out about Lin Yi, I'm afraid that they'll do something to him. Do something? Lingshan's face was a little weird. She smiled bitterly. Yang bro, you're from a noble house as well. Didn't you hear about the big thing that happened in Songshan? What big thing? Huaijuan paused. I've been busy with the case these days, so I didn't pay attention to what the noble houses are doing. We, House Yang, on the other hand, are only able to maintain our position as one of the 5 small noble houses. As long as the elder of House Yang is there, our position won't be affected, so I didn't pay too much attention. Lin Yi and House Yu are enemies now. Lin Yi crippled House Yu's Yu Kuan and killed his father Yu Bide. House Yu and Lin Yi have been enemies for a long time now. Lingshan smiled bitterly. Do you think that there's a chance that Lin Yi and House Yu would be able to resolve the conflict even if this didn't happen? Seriously? Huaijuan said as he stood up from the bed in shock. He didn't think that Lin Yi would be this strong. He'd only been in Songshan for a few days, and he'd already killed 2 masters from the head of the 9 noble houses. House Yu. Wasn't this a little too strong? Huaijuan was worried that Lin Yi would be at a disadvantage in the conflict with House Yu, but who would have thought that it was House Yu who was at a disadvantage now? Huaijuan couldn't help but sigh. Captain is captain after all. Anyone else would have died a long time ago if they killed 2 House Yu, but boss is perfectly fine. What a strong man. Yeah. Lingshan couldn't believe it as well, but this was the type of man she liked. She wouldn't like him if he was a coward, hiding when something happened. Forget it, I'm not going to get involved. Your business is too complicated. Huaijuan smiled bitterly. You want to stay here tonight? I'll treat you to dinner? It's okay, I can't wait to get back to work on this case. Lingshan was starting to get impatient now that she had a direction to work on. Alright, next time then. I'm tight on time here as well. Huaijuan sighed. Bring Lin Yi with you next time, we can have a good chat. I have something to talk to him about. Forget it, I'll call him alone. Chapter 1256. Finding the mastermind. After Lingshan left, Huaijuan picked up his phone and dialed Lin Yi's number. He had some things he wanted to talk to Lin Yi about, but after what Lingshan said today, he couldn't wait any longer and couldn't wait to meet up with Lin Yi. Huaijuan didn't tell Lin Yi before, because he didn't want Lin Yi to get involved. Huaijuan knew Lin Yi's personality, and there were some things that Lin Yi couldn't pretend not to know once he knew. But if Lin Yi really did something, it'd be very dangerous. But now, after hearing Lingshan's words, Huaijuan realized that he'd underestimated his captain. They hadn't even done anything yet, and they'd already become enemies with House Yu, killing 2 of their masters. There were some things that Huaijuan couldn't hide anymore. The reason why Huaijuan stayed in Donghai for this period of time was because this international drug trafficking case had something to do with what happened in the past. Otherwise, Huaijuan wouldn't have left his work in Songshan and come here to help. Usually, it was the captain or vice captain of the criminal police who was seconded to help with a case, and it was rare for the vice director to be seconded. This was because Huaijuan knew this drug trafficking case quite well, and he'd had a conflict with this drug cartel before. But as the investigation progressed, Huaijuan became more and more frustrated and helpless. Behind the drug trafficking group, there were some secrets that no one knew about. Back then, Huaijuan had returned from a mission in North Africa under orders to track down an international drug trafficker. It was this mission that caused his entire team to be annihilated, and Huaijuan had barely escaped with his life, but he'd almost died there as well. But all his martial arts were crippled, and his meridians were destroyed. Huaijuan had thought that it was just a coincidence, but a couple of days ago he'd learned some secrets from a mid-level leader of a drug cartel who'd just been captured. The information the boss knew was vague, but it was enough for Huaijuan to understand what the mastermind was trying to do. They were vicious. Huaijuan knew that Lin Yi would avenge him and the Pangolin brothers if he found out about this. But Huaijuan didn't want Lin Yi to get hurt because of him. Lin Yi wasn't a match for them yet. But now it seemed that none of that mattered. Brother Jun? Why are you calling me at this hour? You're back in Songshan? Lin Yi was studying with Xiao Xiao in the classroom when Huaijuan's call came in. No, I'm still in Donghai. Can we talk on the phone? Huaijuan asked. What is it? Lin Yi looked around. There weren't many people in the class. Only Xiao Xiao was beside him. Most of the people were watching the singing competition on the field, and other than Xiao Xiao, no one else could hear Lin Yi's words. Lingshan came just now to ask me about the case, but she brought some news with her. There wasn't that much hypocrisy between the two, and Huaijuan went straight to the point. Her strength increased from early phase peak to late phase peak of the golden class. Is that because of you? Yes, you can too. Lin Yi didn't hesitate at all. This is also why I called you last time. I can fix your meridians and bring your strength up to golden class late phase peak. Ah. Lin Yi admitting it so straightforwardly made Huaijuan a little uncomfortable. Huaijuan knew that Lin Yi wouldn't hide it from him, but leveling up wasn't something that could be done just like that. There had to be a lot of hard work involved, and Lin Yi helping Lingshan might be because Lin Yi liked her, but Huaijuan? Even if he was Lin Yi's brother, there was no need for Lin Yi to do something like this, was there? Yet, Lin Yi didn't even seem to think about it before blurting it out. Huaijuan was touched, but he couldn't help but think that Lin Yi would definitely avenge him and the armadillo if he were to tell Huaijuan about it. And so, Huaijuan decided to remind Lin Yi not to be impulsive. He had to tell him, but he had to warn him beforehand. Golden class late phase peak. Sounds tempting. Huaijuan smiled. Then I'll thank you first. You don't have to thank me. Jun bro, you call me just for this? Lin Yi didn't think that Huaijuan was someone that impulsive, right? No, it's just a question. There's something important I need to tell you, but you have to promise me that you won't be impulsive after you hear the news. You have to plan before you act and don't do anything you're not confident in yet. Huaijuan said seriously after a sigh. What is it? Lin Yi was curious at Huaijuan's seriousness. Jun bro, what are you talking about? It's about my injury and Armadillo's death. Huaijuan said sorrowfully. I think I can guess who the mastermind is. Mastermind? Isn't it an international drug lord? Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. Yes, but based on the evidence we have, we can deduce that this international drug trafficking organization is connected to House Yu. Huaijuan said. Which House Yu? Lin Yi's heart raced. Don't worry, it's not that hidden House Yu. It's the common world's House Yu, Huaijuan smiled. Jun bro, you're joking again? Lin Yi didn't want to talk about the past and changed the topic. Are you sure it's House Yu? They should be the mastermind. These few years, the noble houses have been getting into accidents. I'm guessing that if House Yu wants to grow, they'll have to attack the other noble houses. I'm the hope of House Yang's rise in this generation, and I'm already a golden class at 16. My potential is limitless, so House Yu wants to kill me, but Armadillo and my other teammates are involved. Huaijuan guessed. House Yu. Very good. Lin Yi repeated the name faintly. Eagle, don't do anything stupid. Huaijuan's heart skipped a beat. He knew Lin Yi's personality. Lin Yi said it calmly, but Lin Yi didn't have any emotions when he talked about House Yu. Back on the battlefield, this was how Lin Yi acted before he was about to kill someone. Chapter 1257. Chapter 1255, Pangolin's sister. Ha, don't worry Jun bro, I won't do things I'm not confident in. Lin Yi smiled. Yes, if it were the old Lin Yi, he would have gone straight to House Yu, but the current Lin Yi was much more mature than before. Revenge required strategy too. He'd be an idiot if he gave himself up instead of getting his revenge. I'm glad you said that. Huaijuan let out a sigh of relief. It's just a guess though. I'm confident, but the evidence is still too little. If House Yu really is connected to the drug cartel, even if you don't do anything to him, I'll report it to the Secret Investigation Bureau and have them punish House Yu. A guess is enough. I don't like them anymore. One more guess is just one more reason to kill them. Linny said faintly. There's no place to vent, so I'll just put this on their heads. That? Do whatever you want, Huaijuan smiled bitterly. Right, there's one more thing. When I was reorganizing the cases, I pulled out the files of our fallen comrades. I wasn't a cop back then, so I didn't have the authority. After I came back, I didn't want to remember the past, so I chose to forget it on purpose. But when I pulled out the files a few days ago, I realized that many of our comrades had parents and even younger siblings at home. It hurt my heart to see them, so I decided to visit them one by one. I'll leave Pangolin to you then? Pangolin? He still has a family? Lin Yi's expression was a little moved as his memories returned to that time. That kid always had a smile on his face. He remembered that he would always look at a picture on his pocket watch when there was no one around, not letting anyone see it. Lin Yi used to tease him, saying that he was looking at a picture of his sweetheart, making Pangolin blush. Lin Yi sighed. His former comrade in arms, where are you now? Did you really die? Pangolin has a sister, and coincidentally, she's also in Songshan. I just found out, Huaijuan said, a little emotional. Sister? He has a sister? In Songshan? Lin Yi was stunned. Could it be that the photo he saw before was of his sister? Yes, his sister is 16 years old this year and is in grade 9. She should be taking the senior high school entrance examination this year. Huaijuan said. Her sister's Ying Ziyu in Fushan Middle School's class 6. Ying Ziyu? Lin Yi sighed secretly. He didn't know how a little girl like her had survived all these years. Does she have any parents or relatives? No, Pangolin's parents were also special agents, and they both died in another mission. Pangolin has been raising his little sister since she was young. Huaijuan said. Armadillo received special training early on in order to support his sister. He became a secret agent, but that's enough. Lin Yi felt the urge to cry. He didn't know how Ziyu got here. Her parents were dead and her brother was sacrificed. Did she know about this? I found out through the household registration system. If she wasn't in Songshan, it wouldn't be easy to find her. She's already moved and her brother's certificate and pension haven't been received. Huaijuan smiled bitterly. If I didn't look into it, I would have missed it. So you're saying that this Ying Ziyu doesn't know that her brother died? Lin Yi's heart grew heavier. How was he supposed to tell Ziyu that he had to go see her? She wanted him to personally tell her that her brother was dead? Yes. Huaijuan sighed. That's why I wanted you to go, Captain. You're about the same age as her, you should be easier to communicate with. I wouldn't know how to tell her. Don't bullshit, I'm about the same age as her? She's just a little girl. How am I supposed to tell her? Lin Yi said helplessly. If you really don't want to go, then wait for me to get back to Songshan. We'll go together and give her the certificate and pension, Huaijuan said, knowing the pain Lin Yi was feeling. Let's forget about the certificate and pension for now. We didn't find the body, right? Maybe Armadillo's still fine. Lin Yi quickly stopped her. According to what Huaijuan said, Ziyu probably didn't know about her brother's death yet, and she was about to take her high school entrance exams. It'd be a huge blow to her if she found out, so Lin Yi didn't want to tell her this straight away. At least wait until she got into high school, right? That's right, no news is good news. Huaijuan nodded. Alright, I'll go see her in a bit. I'm free anyway. It was fine if Lin Yi didn't know, but now that he knew Armadillo had a sister, Lin Yi couldn't just ignore it. He had to see if Ziyu was doing well. Armadillo was gone and he was her brother. He had to take care of her. Armadillo was like Huaijuan, they were friends who'd gone through life and death together. Okay, that's all for now. Don't worry about House Yu too much, don't alert them. Huaijuan's last sentence was actually to keep Lin Yi in check. Don't worry, Jun bro. I know what I'm doing. Lin Yi nodded. After hanging up, Lin Yi wasn't in a good mood. Although there were many kids like Ziyu who'd lost their parents and brother, they had nothing to do with him. But Armadillo's sister was different. Lin Yi was a heartless person, but he was a person who valued relationships. Lin Yi was cold to strangers and enemies, but he cared about his friends and lovers. Lin Yi, honey, what's wrong? You don't seem very happy. Xiao Xiao had been paying attention to Lin Yi's face. She didn't know who Lin Yi was talking to, but she could feel the heaviness in Lin Yi's heart. It's nothing. Xiao Xiao, are you free now? Want to go out with me? Lin Yi asked. Oh, You mean the sister of that person you were talking about? Xiao Xiao didn't really understand what Linny was talking about, but she got the gist of it. Yes, the sister of one of my comrades. Linny sighed. That comrade sacrificed himself. He was my good brother. Chapter 1258. She was Ying Ziyu? Linny didn't drive today. He stopped the taxi at the school gates and headed to Fushan High. On the way, Linny got a text from Huaijuan, sending Ziyu's information and pictures. Wow, she's pretty. Linny, honey, are you interested in her? Xiao Xiao smiled as she looked at the pretty girl on Lin Yi's phone. Linny was speechless. He glared at Xiao Xiao. She's just a little girl, why would I be interested? That's obviously from her ID. She must be prettier in real life if she's this pretty. Xiao Xiao said. Not as pretty as you. Linny didn't know what to say. Really? Xiao Xiao's eyes turned into crescents after hearing Lin Yi's words. She looked at Lin Yi excitedly and blissfully. Really? Lin Yi nodded. Then me, Tang Yun sis, Yao Yao sis, and Shu, who's the prettiest? Xiao Xiao continued. All of you. Lin Yi didn't want to start a war, but he was being truthful. There was no way to tell who was the prettiest, just like Chunhua and Qiuyu. They were both the prettiest and they had their own specialties. It wasn't easy to put them together. Man, I knew you'd say that. But that's fine, it's the fairest. Xiao Xiao wasn't annoyed. I thought you'd say Tang Yun sis is the prettiest. Haha. Lin Yi shrugged, not saying much. Since they were in the taxi, Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao didn't talk about anything too personal. When they were about to reach Fushan High School, the taxi driver stopped the car on the side of the road not far away and said, You too, I'll stop here. I don't dare to drive over and smash my car again. Ah? Lin Yi was stunned. What do you mean? You guys came to Fushan High, don't you know what it looks like? The driver looked at Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao oddly. What? Is there something wrong with Fushan High School? Lin Yi wasn't from Songshan, so naturally he didn't know much about Fushan High. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, was in Songshan First High for a while before transferring to another school. Fushan High was very far from the main city, and if it weren't for Lin Yi, she wouldn't even know that there was a high school like this in Songshan. Fushan Middle School is the most chaotic middle school in the city. The students there smoke, drink, fight, take drugs, and have promiscuous relationships. In short, it can't be any worse. The driver shook his head. This is a hooligan school. The students who come out of here are either arrested or become hooligans. Ha! Lin Yi broke out in a cold sweat. It can't be, right? Ziyu went to school here? Smoking, drinking, and fighting was one thing, but taking drugs and having promiscuous relationships? A few black lines appeared on Lin Yi's head. There aren't any good students here? The ones that study hard? Xiao Xiao's face was a little weird as well, but Xiao Xiao was more natural. She was a problem student in the past, messing around in society. Even good students are led astray. The driver curled his lips. If they really wanted to study, they'd have applied to transfer to other schools already. Here they're all degenerating. I only dared to drive you here because you two are from Songshan First High. I wouldn't even dare drive a student wearing the Fushan High uniform. Not only would I not pay, I'd probably get beaten up and smash the car. So messy. As Lin Yi sighed, he felt bad as well. She was his comrade's sister after all. If she really did drugs and promiscuous relationships, Lin Yi really wouldn't know what to do. Lin Yi could force her to detox, but he still felt guilty. Yeah, I gotta go. Good luck, you guys. Don't you see there's a fight going on over there? I don't know where they're from, but they're all armed with knives and metal sticks. The driver pointed at the school gates and said to Lin Yi, Thank you. Lin Yi nodded and got off the car with Xiao Xiao. Fushan High, now that he mentioned it, I do have some impression of it. There were indeed some delinquents that came from Fushan High back in society. Xiao Xiao said after some thought. Who cares, let's see how Ziyu is. Lin Yi's steps were a little heavy. He wondered how he'd treat Ziyu, who lived a life of debauchery. The old Lin Yi wouldn't bother with people like this, but now he had to. Fushan Middle School looked very shabby. The red brick walls of the school were from an unknown era. There were some advertisements for STD treatment and certificate applications. There were also some small advertisements for K-powder. It was enough to show how chaotic the school was. Sure enough, at the school gate, there were two groups of students confronting each other. Every student held a knife and a metal rod in their hands. Some of them were shirtless, some of them had shaved their heads, and some of them even had tattoos. It was similar to a gang fight in gangster movies. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. These people blocked the school gates, and Lin Yi had to wait for them to finish fighting if he wanted to go over. These people were nothing in Lin Yi's eyes, and killing them was easier than killing ants. But Lin Yi didn't want to stick his nose in other people's business. These people's lives had nothing to do with him, and he'd have one less scum of society if he killed them. If they didn't die, they'd be taken in by Zhou Qiandi or Tsinghua after graduation, becoming scum of society. Lin Yi held Xiao Xiao's hand, watching the fight from the side. "Ingziyu, you little bitch, I'll give you two choices today. One, be my girl and your underling will be my underling. If you stay by my side, you'll be able to eat and drink well. When others see you, they'll respectfully call you sister-in-law. You'll be even better than you are now." Blocking the entrance of Fushan Middle School, a scar-faced man who was the leader of a group of people, raised a shiny knife and shouted at the other group of people. Lin Yi's eyes went wide as if someone stepped on his tail. He almost jumped up. "What? Ingziyu?" Lin Yi looked in the direction the scar-faced man was pointing at, and saw a girl in black tights, holding a knife in her hand as well. Behind her was a group of students with knives, guns and clubs as well, but this group was clearly smaller than the scar-faced man's group. Chapter 1259. Chapter 1257. Telling you to scram, but her face didn't look as pretty as it did in the picture. It was filled with coldness. She was pretty, but the hatred in her eyes made Lin Yi frown. This girl seemed to be a gang leader? She seemed to be cutting people up quite a bit. Lin Yi had thought that Ziyu was a problem girl, but he didn't think it would be to this extent. "About the same as you used to be?" Lin Yi looked at Xiao Xiao. "I'm not as strong as her. I'm just messing around, but she's already cutting people up with her gang." Xiao Xiao shook her head. Lin Yi nodded. Xiao Xiao was right. Xiao Xiao had been studying in a better school, and even as a big sister she couldn't be like Ziyu, bringing a bunch of gang members with her. "This is Ziyu? Fuck." Lin Yi couldn't help but curse. Lin Yi normally wouldn't curse, but he really couldn't hold it in today. "What? You really want to fuck her?" Xiao Xiao blinked. Lin Yi glared at her. "Don't joke around, I don't know how to do it. I'm a bit helpless. I thought she was a punching bag with no parents, no big brother to take care of her, but we'll see." Xiao Xiao understood Lin Yi's feelings. "Bullshit, Scarface Bear, have you forgotten how you got that scar on your head? How dare you come to Fushan High and act all cocky?" Ziyu didn't back down. "You want to hit on me? Why don't you take a look at yourself? Your face is simply a work of the gods. Why don't you just die?" Ziyu, who doesn't know how to talk. "You're right, I got this scar because of you, but so what? I swore right then that I'd get you on my bed and fuck you to death." Scarface, who was called Scar Bear, snorted and said, "However, I, Scar Bear, am not the same as before. I'm now working for Brother Guang. Brother Guang has already given me Fushan Middle School's territory. I'm here today to take over Fushan Middle School. Otherwise, do you think I would have dared to come here if I wasn't sure? Why don't you look at the people behind me?" Ziyu's face changed after hearing the words. She felt that something wasn't right too. This Scar Bear was just a gangster. How did he get so many people? Moreover, the knives and iron rods in their hands were very professional. It turned out that they had come from another dock. So what if there are more people? When Filong Bro comes, your men will all die here today. Ziyu frowned, but she wasn't too worried. Fushan High School was divided into 3 factions. Although he was the smallest faction, he had a good relationship with the leader of the largest faction, Nan Filong. Thus, Nan Filong couldn't just stand by and watch if something happened to him. "Southern Filong? How naive of you. Women are indeed naive." Scar Bear laughed, not caring at all. "How long has it been since I came here? Your follower went to tell Nan Filong long ago, right? Where is he? Why isn't he here yet?" Ziyu's face changed. It wasn't that she didn't think of this, but she had a good relationship with Nan Filong. She didn't think that he wouldn't come, but now, huh? What? You don't believe me? I'll tell you the truth, Nan Filong has already made me his boss. Moreover, I've promised him that I'll help him consolidate Fushan High's power. From now on he'll be the only boss in Fushan High. Scar Bear laughed heartily. "Do you think Nan Filong will stick up for you? You bitch, do you know why Nan Filong would help you? Because he's always wanted to fuck you. But you didn't let him, so he gave you to me. Do you really think you're friends with Nan Filong?" Ziyu's face was green. She didn't want to believe it, but Scar Bear's words had to be true. "Scar Bear, I'm telling you, I won't follow you even if I die. You're disgusting." Ziyu gritted her teeth. "Either you let me go and we'll be fine, or I'll bring my men to fight you." "Fuck." Scar Bear spat on the ground, cursing. "Ziyu, don't be so shameless. Fight. I'm telling you, after I kill all your men, I'll tie you up and get my brothers to gang rape you. You'll be treated differently then." "You dare." Ziyu said. "I'll kill you." "Haha, Come at me then. Let's see who kills who. Scar Bear waved his hand, signaling his men to get ready. Linny honey, it's usually time for the master to show up at this point in a TV show. Aren't you going to show up? Xiao Xiao called out. Ah. Linny smiled bitterly, speechless. What master? But Linny couldn't just ignore this. Did he come at the right time? If he'd come a second later, Ziyu would have been killed already? Otherwise he would have been gang raped? From the looks of it, Ziyu wasn't some random girl, or she wouldn't be this stubborn. This made Linny feel a little better. Alright, this has nothing to do with you. Get the hell out of here. Linny walked over and looked at Scar Bear before pointing at Ziyu. I have business with her. What? Scar Bear froze. Scar Bear's men froze. Even Ziyu and her underlings froze. They didn't think that someone would appear out of nowhere. Was this guy an idiot? How could he say something so stupid? Even Ziyu was wondering if there was something wrong with this guy's brain. Telling Scar Bear to fuck off? Ah. Immediately, Scar Bear and his subordinates burst into laughter. They looked at Linny as if they were looking at an idiot. Ignorance was bliss after all. Kid, what did you just say? You're telling me to fuck off? Scar Bear dug his ear, acting like he didn't hear him clearly. He wasn't annoyed at all, looking at Linny with interest as if he was looking at a dead man. As far as he was concerned, there was no need to get angry over an idiot like Linny. Linny was an idiot and he could kill him anytime he wanted. Scar Bear wouldn't bother with an idiot. Yeah, I'm telling you to fuck off. Linny looked at Scar Bear. Why aren't you leaving? Chapter 1260. My words don't work? Linny looked up at Scar Bear and saw that he had no intention of leaving. He frowned. What's good about it? Are you retarded? If you're good then get the fuck out, why are you still standing here? Meh. Scar Bear looked like he heard the funniest joke in the world. He pointed at himself. In Songshan, there are people who dare to tell me to fuck off, but it's definitely not you. My words don't work? Linny asked. You have some self-awareness? Scar Bear laughed when he heard Linny. My words don't work? Then I won't say it. Linny nodded. You shouldn't have said it. Who do you think you are, yelling in front of me, Scar Bear? Do you want to die? Scar Bear laughed coldly and said proudly, kneel down right now and crawl under my crotch, then I'll let this go. Linny didn't wait for him to finish and slapped him on the face. Half of Scar Bear's face caved in. His teeth and cheekbones were probably all broken. Since words don't work, then I'll use force. Linny slapped again and caved in the other half of Scar Bear's face. What are you doing? Let go of Brother Bear. Scar Bear's lackeys were confused by Linny's actions. When they reacted, they pointed at Linny and yelled. Linny, however, didn't care about the lackeys behind Scar Bear at all. He kicked Scar Bear's crotch and the sound of something shattering accompanied the pain. Scar Bear clutched his crotch with both hands as he fell to the ground, rolling around in pain. Can't you just fuck off yourself? You still want me to fuck off for you? Linny shook his head and kicked Scar Bear again. Another crisp sound rang out. Scar Bear's leg was broken by Linny's kick. The reason why Linny did this to Scar Bear was because he wanted to do something to Ziyu. Since she was the pangolin's little sister, then Linny treated her as his own sister. If someone wanted to harm her, then Linny would naturally eliminate them. However, in public it was not impossible for Linny to kill Scar Bear, but it was possible for him to cripple him. As long as this kind of gangster didn't die, no one would have the nerve to call the police. Scar Bear's underlings were dumbfounded. They had seen ruthless characters but they had never heard of someone as ruthless as Linny. With just a few words, Linny had broken both sides of Scar Bear's cheekbones. Not only did he turn into a eunuch, he even broke one of his legs. Just what kind of person was this? This brat looked very amiable, but he didn't expect that he would be so merciless when he attacked. You. Just who are you? How dare you hurt Brother Bear? Don't you know who our Brother Bear is working for? One of Scar Bear's lackeys questioned Linny, but it was obvious that he was afraid of Linny's ferocity as well. You want to stand up for him? Linny looked at the underling. The underling looked at Linny's cold eyes and he was a little scared. If he said he wanted revenge for Scar Bear, wouldn't Linny beat him up just like Scar Bear? And so, the underling wasn't stupid. After some hesitation, he waved his blade and yelled to the underlings behind him, "Everyone attack! Kill this kid and get revenge for Brother Bear." But the next moment, just as he finished speaking, there was a scream. The blade that was originally in his hand had somehow fallen into Linny's hand and stabbed into his thigh. The underling was in so much pain that his eyes rolled back and he fainted on the ground. He was even more vulnerable than Scar Bear. Are you also here to avenge them? Lin Yi ignored the underling from before and looked up at the remaining people. No. No. The man closest to Lin Yi was scared out of his wits. He threw the blade in his hand to the ground. He was afraid that if he spoke too slowly, there would be 2 more holes in his thighs. The guy in front of him was obviously a violent madman. His speed was unbelievable. Before he could see what was going on, there were already 2 people lying on the ground. So, this person didn't have the intention to resist Lin Yi at all. He was afraid that Lin Yi would beat him up, so he quickly put down his weapon and surrendered. If there was 1, there would be 2. If there was 2, there would be 3. The people who originally wanted to fight with Lin Yi saw that their companions had surrendered. Who would be stupid enough to continue looking for trouble with Lin Yi? We don't have the intention to take revenge. We'll leave now. A few people near Lin Yi had already turned around and were ready to leave. Wait, carry these 2 pieces of trash away. Lin Yi pointed to Scar Bear and his underling on the ground. Although these people who were preparing to leave were afraid and unwilling to turn back, who knew what the consequences would be if they didn't go back? Fortunately, this person seemed to be reasonable. As long as they did what he said, then there shouldn't be any problems. So, the few people who left turned back, carried Scar Bear and his underling and ran away dejectedly. In fact, these people only felt that they had lost face. As for whether or not they wanted to avenge Scar Bear and his subordinate who had his thigh slashed, that was secondary. These people were the lowest rung of society, and Scar Bear had just gotten his position, and it was Guangbro who sent him over. Other than this underling who was his direct follower, the others were all sent by Guangbro. All they wanted was to report this to Guangbro as soon as possible. You're looking for me? Ziyu looked at Lin Yi oddly. This guy's methods were clearly very cruel, even more so than the gangster she was working for. But the more it was like this, the more she couldn't figure out where Lin Yi was coming from. Was he here to help or did he have some other purpose? As far as Ziyu was concerned, Lin Yi's arrival was too much of a coincidence. Scar Bear's men were here looking for trouble, and Lin Yi appeared and dealt with them. But Ziyu had never seen Lin Yi before and she didn't know Lin Yi. She hadn't even heard of this person before. Ziyu? Ziyu asked as Lin Yi studied the girl in front of him. You're looking for me? You don't know who I am? Ziyu was even more puzzled. Lin Yi didn't seem to know her, and wanted to confirm if she was Ziyu or not. I'm Zijia's friend. Lin Yi said. Chapter 1261. Chapter 1259. Taking over your guardianship. Your brother went on a mission. It'll take a couple years and he won't be back for a while. He gave you to me to discipline you for him. Lin Yi said with a frown as he looked at Ziyu's clothes. Dissy. Why should I believe you? Discipline me for my brother? Ziyu found it funny and snorted. What right do you have to discipline me? My brother doesn't care about me. He's him, I'm me. Lin Yi reached out and tousled Ziyu's colorful hair. Dye it back to black or I'll shave you bald. Don't touch my hair. My hairstyle. Ziyu screamed, glaring at Lin Yi. I'll kill you. Whatever, as long as you can beat me. Lin Yi ignored her, continuing to cause trouble for Ziyu. Don't wear those tights anymore, it'll affect your growth. Those boobs are so big they're squeezed out, right? Throw that bra away or it'll get deformed sooner or later. Ziyu was going crazy. She wanted to kill Lin Yi with one slash, but thinking back to how Lin Yi treated Scar Bear and his men, she was sure that if she attacked Lin Yi, she'd be the one getting beaten up. He was her brother's friend and he wouldn't kill her, but it wouldn't be easy for him. Ziyu's men stared at each other, not daring to laugh. They'd seen Lin Yi's strength firsthand, so they didn't dare to say anything when Lin Yi insulted their boss. They knew that Ziyu had a very strong brother, a special ops soldier, very strong. He could tell just from Ziyu's kung fu alone. Otherwise, a woman like Ziyu wouldn't have this much prestige, becoming the big sister boss. Since Lin Yi was Ziyu's brother's friend, it made sense. No wonder he was so strong, he might even be a special ops soldier. I don't need you to care about me. Who the hell knows you? Ziyu glared at Lin Yi, drawing a line between them. I was entrusted by your brother to take over your guardianship. It's compulsory, so you don't have the right to resist. Of course, I won't object if you want to resist, but I'm afraid you don't have the ability. Lin Yi could tell that a problem girl like Ziyu was the only way to deal with her. She wouldn't listen to a soft approach. And so, Lin Yi beating up Scar Bear and his men was the first step to showing his strength. After that, Lin Yi demanded Ziyu change this and that, using a commanding tone, not a negotiating tone. He didn't want Ziyu to bargain with him. Why should I believe you? Ziyu had pretty much confirmed Lin Yi's identity by now. She'd never mentioned her brother's name to anyone, and with Lin Yi's skills he was probably her brother's comrade. Lin Yi took out his phone and logged into an encrypted photo album. He found a picture of himself, Armadillo, Yang Huijuan, and the others. Lin Yi kept these pictures in his photo album, rarely touching them. But since he wanted Ziyu to believe him, he had to show her some evidence. This is a picture of me with your brother 5 years ago. People like us don't take pictures often. Lin Yi lowered his voice so that only Ziyu could hear. This was taken at the end of the mission in North Africa. I was the captain and your brother was my subordinate. Ziyu blinked. She didn't expect Lin Yi to be the captain. Didn't that mean he was even stronger than her brother? She took over Lin Yi's phone and looked at the picture. She had this picture too, it was always on her brother's table, so she wasn't unfamiliar with it. She just didn't pay attention to the other people in the picture. He held it in his hand and looked at it attentively. The person in the middle of the picture really did look like the Lin Yi in front of him, but a lot younger. A lot more childish. Ziyu paused. How old was Lin Yi 5 years ago? He didn't look older than 19 now. 5 years ago, wouldn't he be 13 or 14? Looking at the little boy Lin Yi in the picture, Ziyu couldn't help but smile. This is you? You're a little dumb. Ziyu looked at Lin Yi with a smile that wasn't a smile. Lin Yi didn't know what to say as he grabbed the phone. Alright, now that we've confirmed your identity, listen to me from now onwards. I'll take you to dye your hair and buy some clothes. From tomorrow on, study hard, and if you dare come out and act like a big sister again, I'll... Lin Yi frowned. He couldn't think of a way to punish Ziyu. Lin Yi didn't have any experience dealing with a girl at all. He turned around and looked at Xiao Xiao for help. If she doesn't listen, you're going to spank her. Xiao Xiao said. If you don't listen, I'll spank you. Lin Yi nodded and repeated it to Ziyu. He felt that Xiao Xiao's idea wasn't bad, but it wasn't very appropriate. He didn't know what was wrong, so he didn't think too much about it. Ziyu's eyes went wide. Spank my butt? Ever since she was young, no one had ever spanked her, not even her eldest brother. Where did this inexplicable big brother's captain come from? He actually wanted to spank him? Didn't he know that men and women shouldn't touch? All of a sudden, Ziyu felt like she was going crazy. But thinking back to Lin Yi's merciless orders, Ziyu felt that Lin Yi really might spank her. Don't you dare. Ziyu glared at Xiao Xiao. Where did this girl come from? Coming out with such a dirty move? Why didn't he spank her? Ziyu didn't know that Xiao Xiao wasn't being spanked by Lin Yi, but by firecrackers. She was in an even worse state. You'll find out if you try. Lin Yi grabbed Ziyu by the collar like he was grabbing a little chick before looking at the students behind her. All right, disperse. You're so young, yet you're still trying to act like a big brother in the underworld? Go back to your studies. Ziyu's lackeys didn't dare say anything as they watched their big sis get grabbed. This guy was a cruel psychopath. Just one word and he'd start a fight. Didn't they see how arrogant Scar Bear was? He was beaten to the point that he didn't even look human. He probably wouldn't be able to get out of bed for at least a year or two. And these people were just students. Naturally, they weren't as cruel as Scar Bear. Even Scar Bear's lackeys ran away. How could they go against Lin Yi? Chapter 1262. Was this pretty boy? This area belonged to the North District, and Scar Bear was someone Guangbro had just helped get to his position. Now that he was crippled, it'd be weird if Guangbro didn't bring his men to take revenge. Ziyu didn't want to be controlled by Lin Yi, but she didn't want anything to happen to her men. She thought of a good idea. Nan Failong was unreliable now, and if she wanted to survive in Fushan, she had to get rid of Guangbro. No matter how powerful Fushan Middle School was, it was nothing compared to Guanggu, who was in the underworld. I can go with you, but the trouble you've caused isn't over yet. Those people are going to call for reinforcements and Guangbro will come looking for trouble later. I can't just leave my men here. Of course, if you can take care of Guangbro, I'll go with you. Ziyu said as she broke free from Lin Yi's grip. What Guangbro? But that's fine, we'll wait. Lin Yi didn't care about this Guangbro at all. In Songshan, Lin Yi could even beat up Qibing and Sihua. What was Guangbro to him? You're a secret agent, but let me tell you, no matter how strong you are, you can't beat a group of people. They have guns. Ziyu reminded him kind-heartedly. This guy was annoying and a busybody, but Ziyu didn't want him to die just like that. You don't have to worry about that. Lin Yi said faintly. At this time, on the other side of the school field, a group of people surrounded a young man in a black trench coat and walked over here. Ziyu sis, it's Long Bro. One of Ziyu's lackeys said quickly. Ziyu's eyes darkened. Nan Failong, that two-faced bastard. Scar Bear had left, but he had come. Ziyu, you didn't expect this, did you? You managed to get reinforcements? Nan Filong spoke in a strange tone even before he got close. It was obvious that he was well informed. News of Lin Yi teaching Scar Bear a lesson had already reached his ears. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said such things. Nan Filong, if you're not going to help me, can't I find someone else? Ziyu puffed her chest out. For the first time she felt that Lin Yi's appearance was a good thing. She could deal a blow to Filong. Bitch, looks like you've already hooked up with someone else. A ruthless glint flashed across Nan Filong's eyes. He lifted his head and looked at Lin Yi. Pretty boy, you're finished? You hit Scar Bear and Brother Guang is rushing over with his men. You're dead meat today. Ing Ziyu, who's this idiot? Lin Yi had clearly heard Ziyu call him Filong, but he still repeated it. Evidently Lin Yi didn't care about Filong at all. It's summer and you're still wearing a windbreaker? Isn't he afraid of getting heat rash? Ziyu couldn't help but chuckle. That was quite a sarcastic thing to say, but it made sense. This Filong was always trying to act cool, thinking that he was Su Wenxiang just by wearing a trench coat, walking around the school like he was Su Wenxiang. She didn't think much of it before, but Feilong's betrayal today made Ziyu feel like this guy had a pointy mouth and cheeks, and he looked like an extra in a TV show. It was quite comical. Fuck. Pretty boy, you don't need to be cocky. Guang bro will be here soon and you'll die then. Filong humphed coldly. He didn't want to argue with Lin Yi. After all, he'd heard of Lin Yi's strength, and he knew that he wasn't a match for Lin Yi. He chose to endure it for now, waiting for Guang bro to come, and then Lin Yi would be a dead dog. I was going to wait for him even if you didn't say anything. Lin Yi looked at Filong. This idiot was on Lin Yi's list of people he needed to get rid of. He heard Scar Bear say that this guy liked Ziyu? And he'd make him a eunuch too. He wasn't a good guy anyway. A mocking smile appeared on Feilong's lips. As far as he was concerned, Lin Yi didn't know the difference between heaven and earth. Guang bro was a man with a gun, and no matter how strong Lin Yi was, he'd still be dead in front of a gun. Lin Yi, honey, this guy's so annoying. He doesn't look like a good guy, why don't you take care of him? Xiao Xiao pointed at Filong. Oh, I'll let that Guang bro take care of him later. Lin Yi nodded. Ziyu's mouth twitched. This girl beside Lin Yi was pretty fierce, wasn't she? You can kill whoever you want? She wasn't a secret agent, was she? Feilong's face was full of disdain. He didn't think that Lin Yi could do anything in front of Guang bro at all. One had to know that Guang bro was the boss of the North District, someone who could shake up Songshan with a stomp of his foot. A minibus rushed toward Fushan Middle School, and Filong Nan's eyes flashed with a trace of joy. The minibus stopped at the entrance of Fushan Middle School. Once the door opened, more than 30 youths jumped out. Each of them was much more mature and ruthless than the people Scar Bear had brought. These people were probably real gang members, probably the backbone of Brother Guang's underlings. He had brought all of them in order to keep up appearances. What's going on? Who beat up Scar Bear? Who dares to cause trouble in Guang bro's territory? Do they want to die? A blonde-haired youth walked over with a bunch of bulky men. Feilong's eyes lit up when he saw Guang bro. He sprinted towards Guang bro. In his heart he had his own plans. It seemed like Scar Bear wouldn't be able to get out of the hospital for at least a year or two, but the North District's Fushan High area needed a new boss. And so Filong saw an opportunity. If he grasped this opportunity well, then he might very well become the boss of Fushan High. Among all the forces around Fushan Middle School, he was the most powerful. And so Filong was very attentive, running up to Guang bro as soon as he arrived. Guang bro. It's this pretty boy. It's that Ing Ziyu, that bitch, got her help. Filong was a cunning man, immediately identifying Lin Yi as Ziyu's lover. This way, Ziyu would be a piece of trash and Guang bro wouldn't be interested in her. Once Lin Yi died, wouldn't Ziyu be his plaything? Chapter 1263. Chapter 1261. Help me watch her Guang bro, who was surrounded by people, froze when he saw Lin Yi standing beside Ziyu. Lin Yi? Why was it Lin Yi? Guang bro wanted to die. Yes, he really wanted to die. If he knew that Lin Yi was here, he wouldn't have come. He wouldn't have come even if he had to give up the entire North District, let alone Fushan Middle School. This Guang bro was naturally the boss of the North District, Zhou Ruoguang. At this moment, his expression was very interesting and very unsightly. Zhou Ruoguang knew very well what happened to Zhening Jun. So what if Ma Zhu was strong? Didn't he get crippled by Hayashi Lin? Hayashi Lin was fine and he was still alive and kicking. He heard that Ma Zhu's Shifu was coming down the mountain, and Zhou Ruoguang didn't think much of it. So what if it was his Shifu? In front of the omnipotent Hayashi Lin, his Shifu was just a piece of trash. Motherfucker. Zhou Ruoguang was so angry that he slapped Feilong Nan's face. A crisp slap sounded, stunning Feilong and his men. Even most of Zhou Ruoguang's men were stunned. Only a small portion of Zhou Ruoguang's men had seen Lin Yi before, and they knew that Lin Yi was a ruthless man. They understood why Zhou Ruoguang would go crazy and beat up Feilong. Guang bro. Feilong was stunned and didn't know what to do. He covered his mouth and mumbled, Guang bro, it wasn't me, it was that pretty boy, he was the one who beat Scar Bear, not me. You hit the wrong person. He did a good job. He did a good job. Zhou Ruoguang was shocked and quickly said, I'm hitting you. I didn't hit the wrong person. Even Ziyu and her men were dumbfounded. What was wrong with this Guang bro? Did he just slap Nan Feilong? Had brother Guang gone mad? But no matter what, Ziyu and her men were happy that Feilong was beaten up. Feilong was even more dumbfounded. I didn't make a mistake? Then why did brother Guang hit him? Kill this brat for me. Beat them to death. Zhou Ruoguang pointed at the wyvern and ordered his men. Nan Feilong was definitely an enemy of Lin Yi's faction. In that case, Hayashi Lin didn't even need to do anything. He would deal with him himself. Yes. Although many of Zhou Ruoguang's men didn't understand what was going on, since their boss had spoken, then they would fight. Thus, Nan Feilong was surrounded and howled like a ghost. Zhou Ruoguang's men, on the other hand, were all experienced fighters. They could make people feel pain without causing any injuries. Guang bro only said to beat him to death, not kill him directly. So these people didn't dare go all out. You come here. Lin Yi waved at Zhou Ruoguang. Zhou Ruoguang jumped in fright. He looked like he was in pain, but he didn't dare disobey Lin Yi's words. He could only carefully walk over to Lin Yi. Hayashi Lin, you're here. Look, in the North District there are still some troublemakers causing trouble in front of Hayashi Lin. It's all my fault. I'm sorry. Zhou Ruoguang's attitude was very low. He had to. Zhou Ruoguang knew very well what kind of person Lin Yi was. If Lin Yi wanted to mess with you, he didn't even need to kill you, he'd make you wish you were dead. Ziyu's eyes widened in disbelief. Why was the boss of the North District, Guang bro, acting like this in front of Lin Yi? Did he get beaten up by Lin Yi as well? Don't talk like that. Lin Yi frowned. No need to explain, I'm not going to do anything to you. Since you're here, I have something to tell you. Hayashi Lin, just say the word. Don't worry, I'll get it done. Zhou Ruoguang patted his chest and promised that Lin Yi was looking for him. This was a great chance to repair his relationship with Lin Yi. He'd be an idiot if he didn't take this opportunity. That Nan Feilong, just cripple him, no need to kill him. Lin Yi pointed at Zhou Ruoguang's men who were beating the crap out of Feilong. Zhou Ruoguang was just a gangster after all, and he'd probably be held responsible for killing someone in public. Lin Yi didn't want to hurt him. Yes. Zhou Ruoguang nodded and turned to his men. Did you hear that? Hayashi Lin told you to cripple that Nan Feilong. Kick him in the crotch. Nan Feilong's underling hurriedly responded, and Nan Feilong squealed like a pig being slaughtered. Ziyu's mouth twitched once more. This Lin Yi was really cruel, wasn't he? But the weird thing was, how did he order Zhou Ruoguang around? Hayashi Lin, is there anything else you need me to do? Zhou Ruoguang asked curiously. If it was just crippling Nan Feilong, Lin Yi could do it too. It was such a simple thing, just like crippling Scar Bear. Lin Yi did it so easily. Yes, there's more. Lin Yi grabbed Ziyu's collar and pulled her in front of him, turning to Zhou Ruoguang. Do you know her? Yes, Ziyu, Fushan High School, the big sister of the third gang. Zhou Ruoguang didn't know what Lin Yi was talking about, but Lin Yi seemed to be a little close with Ziyu. So, in this uncertain situation, Zhou Ruoguang introduced Ziyu without any emotions. Zhou Ruoguang of course knew Ziyu. He'd been drooling over her before, but thinking about it, a delinquent girl like her had probably been fucked countless times already. Zhou Ruoguang wasn't that interested anymore. Yes, good. She's my sister now, I need her to study hard. Keep an eye on her, call me immediately if she's messing around in society again. Lin Yi ordered. No problem. Zhou Ruoguang was thankful that he hadn't played with Ziyu before, or he'd probably be kicked into a eunuch by Lin Yi today. Wiping his sweat, Zhou Ruoguang ignored Ziyu's murderous glare. No problem, leave it to me. Leave it to me from now on, in the North District, I'm the most well-informed. Don't worry, Hayashi Lin, I'll make sure Miss Ziyu studies hard every day. Otherwise I'll be the one to blame. Zhou Ruoguang was overjoyed. Being able to do something for Lin Yi was a great thing. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to get close to Lin Yi, but now that he was doing things for Lin Yi, how so would be Lin Yi's dog in name. Lin Yi wouldn't attack his own people, would he? Chapter 1264. Chapter 1262, Can't Fight Back, You're the boss of the North District. Why are you acting like a dog? Ziyu looked at Zhou Ruoguang a little disgusted. She used to worship him, thinking that he had to be something to be able to become the boss of the North District at such a young age. She didn't expect him to be a bootlicker. And hearing him promise to Lin Yi that he'd keep an eye on her and not let her go out, that pissed her off even more. She couldn't help but mock him. With Lin Yi here, she wasn't afraid. If it were before, Ziyu wouldn't have a good ending if she said something like that to Zhou Ruoguang, but now Zhou Ruoguang didn't care at all. He turned around with a grin. Miss Ziyu, don't blame me, it's hard for me too. You're Hayashi Lin's godsister, but I still have to listen to Hayashi Lin, don't I? Otherwise I'll be in trouble. Ziyu looked at Zhou Ruoguang's fawning face and felt a chill. This guy was hopeless. Whatever. You're a bully. Ziyu grabbed Lin Yi's arm and bit down. Lin Yi wasn't expecting this, so he wasn't prepared. But Lin Yi dodged it if he wanted to, and with a flick of his hand, Ziyu was thrown 3 feet away, landing stably on the ground. Ziyu was even angrier that she didn't get to bite Lin Yi. You need a beating, huh? Lin Yi looked at her. Don't try anything funny, come dye your hair with me. Ziyu's underlings understood the situation as well. The power structure of Fushan High was about to change. Feilong was crippled and he'd probably disappear from Fushan High. Ziyu, on the other hand, was forcefully taken away by a brother, to study. Most importantly, this brother of his was very powerful. Not only was he good at fighting, but even the boss of the North, Zhou Ruoguang, had to bow and scrape in front of him. In this way, only the second strongest faction was left. Who would have thought that second bro would take advantage of it? But they knew that they couldn't follow Ziyu anymore. Even if they wanted to, Lin Yi wouldn't let them. They'd die a horrible death. Lin Yi took Ziyu and nodded to Zhou Ruoguang before leaving with Xiao Xiao. Zhou Ruoguang saw Lin Yi off respectfully and said, Hayashi Lin, take care. Don't flatter me. Remember what I said. Lin Yi said faintly, however, if someone bullies her, I will settle the score with you. No. Zhou Ruoguang said quickly, Miss Ziyu is Hayashi Lin's sister, that means she's my miss. Miss Ziyu, I'll protect you from now on. Ziyu almost burst out laughing at Zhou Ruoguang's words. But a sense of accomplishment that she'd never felt before filled her heart. In the past, Ziyu dreamed of being able to unify the underworld of Songshan, and have the bosses of all the districts bow down to her. But she knew that it was just a dream. Women in the underworld were born weak and they couldn't go too far. But today Ziyu finally got to enjoy that kind of treatment. Seeing how respectful Zhou Ruoguang was to Lin Yi, Ziyu realized that her dream was being fulfilled in another way. She wondered when the big boss of Songshan would start praising her like this. What are your eyes rolling around for? What are you thinking of now? I'm telling you, study hard from tomorrow onwards. I'll get someone to test you regularly, and if you can't pass, I'll spank your ass 100 times. Lin Yi glared at her. Lin Yi didn't care about Ziyu at all. In Lin Yi's eyes, she was just a kid, and so Lin Yi really treated her like a sister. No, nothing. Ziyu tried asking, then you won't be able to stop me if I go with Cihua, right? You can try. If he dares to take you in, I'll burn down his floating cloud bar. Lin Yi frowned as he said faintly. Oh. Ziyu wasn't disappointed at all. She was actually excited. Lin Yi wasn't scared of Cihua. Her brother seemed to be pretty strong as a captain. She'd have a bright future if she followed him, right? But he didn't seem to be a gangster? Zhou Ruoguang called him Hayashi Lin? What did Hayashi Lin mean? Was he some sort of shaman? No way. Did my brother really ask you to take care of me? Ziyu calmed down after getting in the taxi. She knew she couldn't fight back and she could only accept her fate. Yeah, Lin Yi nodded. Thinking of Armadillo, Lin Yi felt a little gloomy. My brother. Where is he now? Why isn't he back? Ziyu asked. He's on a special mission and he might not be back for a long time. Your brother told me that you're about to take your high school entrance exams, and he told me to come see you and make sure you study. Lin Yi said. Oh, I haven't seen my brother in a long time. Ziyu sighed. Do you think someone like me can get into high school? You can start studying tomorrow. Lin Yi said faintly. You'll still have a future in the underworld, right? Ziyu asked carefully. Bullshit. Look at what happened to Zhou Ruoguang. It'd be easier than stepping on an ant if I wanted to kick him to death. Lin Yi sighed. Ziyu was at the rebellious stage of adolescence and it was the most serious. Kids at this stage were impulsive, violent, and loved excitement. In their eyes, the big bosses of the underworld were powerful beings, and Ziyu was just like that. But Lin Yi had to give her a proper outlook on life, telling her that Zhou Ruoguang had no future, and even Xihua had no future. Then what do you do? Ziyu asked. I used to be your brother's colleague, but I'm a student now. Lin didn't hide it. Ziyu would find out sooner or later. Student? Ziyu paused, looking at Lin oddly. You're a student? Yes, Songshan's first school. I came back to study. Lin said. Why are you asking so many questions? Mind your own business first. Ziyu pouted, resisting Lin Yi's violent upbringing a little, but there was nothing she could do. What could she use to go against him? Even people she thought were powerful had to bow and scrape in front of him. Ziyu didn't think she could win against Lin Yi in an argument. The key was that Lin Yi didn't seem to know how to be gentle with her at all, treating her like a child. Ziyu had no way of dealing with this. Chapter 1265. Encountering Xihua. There's a barbershop up ahead, sir. Let's park there. Lin Yi pointed at a small barbershop not far away. He turned to Ziyu. Let's do it here, I'll take you to get your hair dyed. No, it's too low class here. Ziyu shook her head. Low class? As long as you can dye your hair, what's the point? Lin Yi frowned, unhappy with Ziyu's luxurious lifestyle. But thinking about Armadillo's income, her family shouldn't be lacking money. Low-class hair dyes can cause cancer. Ziyu pouted. Is that so? Lin Yi turned to Xiao. Yeah, that's true. But once or twice shouldn't be a problem. Xiao nodded. If it's that easy, then forget it. Let's go to a high-class one. Lin Yi said to the driver, Sir, let's go to the highest-class hair salon. All right. The driver nodded. They knew all the high-class entertainment places in Songshan like the back of their palms, including hair salons. Soon the car stopped in front of a very luxurious salon. One could tell from the number of luxury cars parked outside that the customers here were all rich. It wasn't common to see people like Lin Yi coming in a taxi, so the security at the door paused when he saw Lin Yi and the others get out of the taxi. But the security here was very highly trained, and they wouldn't discriminate against customers. Lin Yi and the others walked over, and the security greeted them respectfully before ushering Lin Yi and the others into the salon. Sir, are you looking for a hair salon? A waitress walked over with a smile. Yeah, I'll dye her hair. Lin Yi brought Ziyun in front of the waitress. Dye her hair black. Sir, do you have an appointment? The waiter thought to himself. The little girl must have dyed her hair behind her family's back and was discovered by her elder brother. No, do I need to make an appointment? Lin Yi was slightly surprised. If you don't have a reservation, you can only wait in line. There are still a few customers in front of you, the waiter explained. I see. Lin Yi nodded. He raised his head and looked around the salon. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that this place also belonged to Pingzhan Industries. In the salon's lobby, Lin Yi saw Pingzhan Industries' logo. From the looks of it, Pingzhan was involved in quite a number of industries. No wonder so many people were after his company's assets. But since it was Pingzhan's company, Lin Yi didn't need to be courteous. Putting aside the fact that Lin Yi was a shareholder of Pingzhan Industries, Lin Yi's relationship with Pingzhan and the miss meant that he didn't need to be courteous. Lin Yi took out his diamond membership card and passed it to the waitress. I have a membership card. The waitress took the card from Lin Yi and was shocked when she saw the level on it. Why didn't you take it out earlier if you had a membership card? Was this his first time here? Sir, you are a diamond VIP. You don't need to line up. You can go to the VIP room upstairs. Although the waiter muttered in his heart, he was respectful on the surface. But the diamond VIP room is already used. Can only the ordinary VIP room be used? After all, Pingzhan Industries didn't give out many diamond membership cards, and they were only given to people with connections. As a company under Pingzhan Industries, one diamond VIP room was usually enough. It wasn't possible for all the diamond VIP members to come at the same time. But today was an accident. There was a VIP in the diamond VIP room, trying on her hair and makeup. So Lin Yi had to go to the normal VIP room first. They couldn't kick the diamond VIP out, could they? Plus, the diamond VIP was a very important person. Sure, let's go then. Luckily, Lin Yi didn't care about that at all. He took out the card because he didn't want to wait and wanted to do Ziyu's hair as soon as possible. The VIP lounge and the diamond VIP lounge were both located on the top floor of the salon. The diamond VIP lounge was a separate room, while the VIP lounge was a large room. The difference in service between the two was not big, but the environment was slightly different. Ziyu had always wanted to go to a better salon, but she'd never been to a place this good before. She'd only go to the middle-class ones, and this was her first time here. Her eyes kept looking around, feeling that this place was really high class. But when Ziyu was looking around, she saw someone she used to worship a lot. Sihua was sitting in the corner of the VIP room. He was probably waiting for someone or doing something. When Ziyu saw him, Linny saw him as well. Linny wasn't surprised that Sihua was here. Pengzhan was the boss of Songshan's underworld, and it was understandable that he had a diamond VIP card. But with his relationship with Qibing, who would believe that Sihua would come to Pengzhan Industries' business just because he had nothing better to do? There had to be something going on. Linny was right, Sihua really did have something going on here. Su Shirhan was trying on her hair and makeup here, and Qibing was drooling over her. He sent Sihua to find out where she was, to see if she'd come back to him for treatment. Sihua had no choice but to become the paparazzi here. Isn't this Sihua, bro? Linny turned his head, a mocking smile on his face. When are you going to pay me back the money you owe me? Ahem. Sihua coughed twice, his face a little ugly. There was nothing he could do to Linny. He didn't dare piss him off and he didn't dare scold him. Wasn't House Yu the perfect example? See, if you don't study hard, you'll end up like that idiot Sihua going around in debt. Look at how pitiful he'll be. Even in the VIP room, he'll have to find a corner to sit. Linny pointed at Sihua and called out to Ziyu. Ziyu didn't think that what Linny said was true. This Sihua was like a punching bag in front of Linny, smiling bitterly even when Linny was mocking him like that. Man, image. In Ziyu's heart, Sihua's big bro image had completely crumbled. Why were these people all so weak? Not a single one of them worked hard? Chapter 1266. Wait for someone. Wait for someone. Sihua shivered when he saw Lin Yi's hand reach into his pocket. This guy wasn't playing with needles again, was he? His brother was a sponge now, full of holes, and someone as strong as Yao Wang was now an antenna. Sihua didn't dare act rashly in front of Lin Yi. Wait for someone? Oh. Lin Yi asked. The people in the diamond room. Sihua was troubled, but he had to answer Lin Yi's question. Oh, keep waiting then. Since they were waiting for someone, Lin Yi naturally lost interest. It was fine as long as they weren't here to cause trouble. Lin Yi let Sihua go and found a waitress, telling her that Ziyu wanted to dye her hair back to black. And so, under Ziyu's unwillingness, the waiter started applying the ointment on her hair. Missing, your skin color is actually very pretty when you're yellow before, but if you dye it back to black, there's nothing special about it anymore. I suggest you dye it blue and black, you look pretty under the sun. The hairdresser suggested. My words don't count. My guardian won't let me. Ziyu was troubled and didn't call Lin Yi big bro anymore. She just called him guardian. The hairdresser couldn't help but chuckle and shake his head, continuing to dye Ziyu's hair. This sister of yours is quite cute. Xiao Xiao sat beside Lin Yi and Lin Yi sat not far from Sihua waiting for Ziyu. Sihua, on the other hand, felt like he was sitting on pins and needles. After a while, he felt uncomfortable and went downstairs, planning to wait for Su Shirhan in the car. Seeing Lin Yi reminded him of his brother and Yao Wang, and he didn't want that to happen to him. It's alright, just a little kid. Didn't think that a bad example like Sihua would be here. Saves me the trouble. Lin Yi smiled. Wasn't I the same as her before? Xiao Xiao looked at Ziyu and thought of her old self. Your situation is different from hers. You have a problem with your body which led to your extreme personality, but she's different. She worships violent things from the bottom of her heart. If she sees the nature of violence clearly, I believe she won't do it again, Lin Yi said. Let's hope so. Do you think she can get into high school? Xiao Xiao asked. Whether she gets in or not, it's fine as long as she works hard. When the time comes, she will still go to first high school. Lin Yi smiled and said, it's just to give her some pressure. Pressure is good. Only with pressure can you improve. Xiao Xiao nodded. You're under a lot of pressure right now, right? Why do you say that? Lin Yi was slightly startled. Because of me? You don't have to feel so pressured if you want to find a way to cure me. Life and death are up to the heavens. I don't want to leave you guys right now, but I've thought it through. It's fine, I'm already very happy, Xiao Xiao said. Ha, don't think so much, there'll always be a way. Lin Yi didn't say much on this topic. 1. He didn't want Xiao Xiao to be sad, and 2. Lin Yi didn't have a good idea yet. Ziyu's hair was dyed black. It wasn't obvious after washing it, but it would turn black after a few more washes. Are you happy now? Ziyu looked at herself in the mirror. She looked a lot more innocent now, and her hairstyle was fixed up too. She had the youthful shoulder-length hair of a schoolgirl, and it didn't match the tight clothes she was wearing at all. You're starting to look like a schoolgirl now. Let's go buy some clothes. Lin Yi grabbed Ziyu and walked out. Don't carry me, I can walk myself. Ziyu felt a little embarrassed being carried around like a little chick. This guy really thought she was a little girl. She was 16 and she knew everything. When Linny got downstairs, Zihua wasn't gone yet. The car was still in the parking lot, but Linny ignored him and took Ziyu to a clothing store. They didn't go to expensive brand-name stores, just a few casual sportswear stores. They bought some clothes that schoolgirls usually wore, and had Xiao Xiao go to the changing room to force Ziyu to change into them. Ziyu, who came out of the changing room, was no longer the gangster girl from before. She looked like a girl next door, young and cute. Her eyes were bright, and she didn't have any makeup on her face, looking much more natural. Most importantly, her breasts weren't as big as before. That's more like it. Linny nodded, satisfied. You're still acting like a schoolgirl, but if you keep squeezing your breasts that big, I'll cut them off for you. Ziyu's face turned red from Lin Yi's scolding. She glared at Lin Yi, wanting to bite him to death. Go to the bookstore now and buy a few exercise books. Read them from top to bottom when you get back, and I'll do a spot check next week. If you get more than 5 questions wrong, I'll smack your butt. Lin Yi threatened. Ziyu was speechless. Her basics were bad, and when had she ever learned anything? Now that Lin Yi wanted her to do exercise books, wasn't that like killing her? But there was nothing she could do to a tyrant like Lin Yi. Guang Bro and Sihua Bro were nothing in front of Lin Yi. They were more punching bags than punching bags. Ziyu's temper was gone, and she didn't doubt that she'd get a spanking if she went against Lin Yi. After buying the clothes, Lin Yi brought Ziyu to the bookstore like a parent, buying her a bunch of revision materials. Ziyu's face was like a bitter gourd, but she didn't dare say anything against it. She could only accept it angrily. When the three of them took a taxi back to Fushan Middle School, the power structure of Fushan Middle School had been settled. Under Zhou Ruoguang's instructions, Brother He, who used to be the second largest gang in Fushan Middle School, became the sole boss of Fushan Middle School and was directly under Zhou Ruoguang's jurisdiction. Of course, while He Bro was happy for himself, he was troubled as well. He'd gotten Zhou Ruoguang's permission, and other than him, there was another miss in the school, Ying Ziyu. He didn't know how she got to know this Hayashi Lin all of a sudden, but if even Guang Bro called her an old servant, then she definitely wasn't a simple person. He Bro was even more scared, afraid that he'd get into trouble if he didn't serve her well. He knew what happened to Scar Bear and Nan Fai Long, and he didn't want to end up like them. So, as the boss in name, he could only wait at the school gates like a servant. Chapter 1267. Chapter 1265, Acquaintances in School. He knew what happened to Scar Bear and Nan Fai Long, and he didn't want to end up like them. As the boss in name, He Bro had no choice but to become a servant at the school gates. But it was okay, other than serving Ziyu, the Grand Miss, all the power in the school belonged to him. It was much stronger than before. Seeing the young girl get off the taxi, He Bro found it hard to connect her with big sis Ying Ziyu. Was this Ying Ziyu? Was Ziyu that cute? She was sexy, but this was the first time He Bro thought that she was cute. But even if she was cute, that was fine. Ziyu was being held by the neck by a man who didn't even look that old, and he was walking towards the school. But He Bro wasn't stupid. He remembered what Guang Bro said earlier. This man was Hayashi Lin without a doubt. At the thought, He Bro quickly ran over, very respectful. Miss Ziyu, welcome back to school. This must be Hayashi Lin, right? I've been waiting for you for a long time. What did you say? Lin Yi was confused. Who are you? I'm Lil He, the new boss of Fushan School that Guang Bro promoted. Of course, in front of you too, I'm just a little servant. Guang Bro told me that I'll watch Miss Ziyu's studies, protect her, and not let anyone bully her. Please don't worry, Hayashi Lin. He Bro patted his chest. Alright, go away. It's none of your business. Lin Yi waved his hand, indicating that He Bro could go play somewhere else. Yes. He Bro nodded. Just as Lin Yi was about to bring Ziyu into the school, a familiar voice called out to him. Lin Yi Bro, Xiao Xiao sis, it's really you guys. Chin Shi ran over happily. I thought it looked like you guys, but it really is you guys. Why are you guys here? Are you here to see me? Chin Shi? You study here too? Lin Yi was a little surprised. He didn't think that a girl like Chin Shi would go to such a chaotic school. Yeah. Chin Shi nodded when her eyes landed on Ziyu's face in front of Lin Yi. She covered her mouth and pointed at Lin Yi in disbelief. You're Ziyu, sis? Ziyu lowered her head when she saw Chin Shi running over. She really didn't want Chin Shi to see her like this, but Chin Shi still recognized her. Oh, you know Ziyu? Lin Yi was curious. It seemed like the two were quite close. Yeah, Ziyu sis always takes care of me in school. Chin Shi nodded. She wasn't really that close with Ziyu. After all, Qinshi was a good girl and Ziyu was a big sis. But they were in the same class. One time, Qinshi was being harassed by a few boys, and Ziyu couldn't stand it anymore. She taught them a lesson, and after that, Ziyu announced that Qinshi was her sister, someone she would protect, and no one dared to bully Qinshi anymore. The knife in Ziyu's hand was no joke. No one dared to provoke her. Qinshi was pretty, but so was Ziyu. No one would do that. Oh, that's perfect. From today on, Ziyu's going to study hard. Qinshi, since you're classmates with her, you should help her with her studies. I bought a bunch of revision materials for her, you guys can read them together. Lin Yi knew Qinshi's family situation. She probably couldn't afford studying materials normally, or she wouldn't be able to stay in a school like this without spending money. And so, Qinshi could read with Ziyu, and Ziyu could help Qinshi with the things she didn't know. Yeah, okay. Qinshi was very happy. She was grateful to Ziyu for taking care of her, but she also wanted Ziyu to focus on her studies. As far as she was concerned, Ziyu wasn't dumb. She was smart, and if she focused on her studies, she wouldn't be any worse than her. Man, I'll be counting on you from now on. Ziyu stopped pretending now that she was recognized. Qinshi was going to find out sooner or later, and with her help, she might be able to learn faster. Qinshi was the first in the school. How's your mom? Xiao Xiao turned to Qinshi. She's all right. Ever since she drank the medicine Lin Yi bro gave her, she's gotten a lot better. Qinshi nodded happily. I'm so lucky meeting Ziyu sis in school and meeting Lin Yi bro and Xiao Xiao sis outside. Yeah, alright, I'll go get some medicine for you later and I'll go see your mom at home. Lin Yi didn't actually need to go to Qinshi's house. Lin Yi knew Qinshi's mom's condition like the back of his hand. Even if he didn't go, Lin Yi would be able to find the right medicine. But Lin Yi was a little curious about that Grandpa Zhu. This guy was clearly a mystic late-phase peak, so why was he picking up trash beside a little girl? Lin Yi followed Ziyu and Qinshi to their classroom. The students had all heard about Lin Yi's exploits outside the school. There were no secrets in the school, and everyone was very respectful of Lin Yi. Even if Ziyu wasn't the big sister anymore, they were more afraid of her than when she was the big sister. With such a strong brother, she could do whatever she wanted in the school. Even Guang bro and Hey bro were very respectful to her, let alone normal students. Now that Qinshi and Lin Yi were very close, the students all regretted it. They didn't offend Qinshi because of Ziyu, but they still looked down on her for studying so hard every day. But from today onwards, no one dared to look down on her. This is your class, why's it so messy? Lin Yi frowned as he looked at the weirdly dressed students in the classroom. Some were playing poker, some were playing video games, and there were even couples hugging and kissing each other. Lin Yi frowned. How old was she, and she was already dating? And touching each other? How could Qinshi study properly in this kind of environment? Every class is like this, you just have to get used to it. Qinshi didn't think much of it.